listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney, in 3, 2, 1.
Peace out, Philly. Next. Wow. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, BT Unleashed. This is going to be a massive week on the show. Hopefully, everybody had an outstanding weekend. What's going on? J-Rod is in the house. I'm here, obviously. We'll get you calls. We'll get you chats going. Let's just jump right into it, man. I got a lot to do today, some housekeeping, but let you know, of course, today's show, as always, is brought to you by my friends at Sullivan Papain. Of course, Sullivan is, you can find them online, triallaw1.com. Triallaw1.com. Remember the name, Sullivan Papain. And by Premio Sausage. Premio Sausage, the way sausage should be. Find them at premiofoods.com or in your local grocery stores. Now, before I get into the Knicks, let me give you guys a heads up. A nice alert for the show coming up on Wednesday. I mean, I wish they would have played better this week, and I might have some tough questions for my buddy Booney, but we will have the Yankee skipper on the show on Wednesday at 10:30. I don't know if I love the way Booney managed the bullpen over the weekend, but listen, you would have to hope that this is just a little blip here, although the Yankees have not played particularly well against teams with winning records. They're 1-8 against some of the better teams in baseball. So not a really good weekend out there for the Yankees, not a good weekend out there for the Mets, but an absolutely phenomenal weekend for the Knicks. And listen, you got to establish something here. Like, I don't want to hear, I really don't want to hear it because I don't think it's truthful. I don't want to hear. Now, we can celebrate and we can think big, and we will. And when the Pistons and the Cavs knock each other around, who knows, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days, Knicks get the chill. And the fact that the Knicks won and the way that they won without OG Anunoby and being able to keep him on ice is massive to the big picture. But what I don't want to hear is that this is the Knicks team that we watched all year. It's not. I'm already getting the tweets today. You owe Mike Brown. I don't owe Mike Brown anything. I never once said that Mike Brown wasn't a competent coach. So, see, guys, this is what I don't get, right? I mean, it is euphoric in Nicoland right now, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. You can really start thinking big now. You can really start dreaming, and you better believe that the Knicks have a real chance to win a championship. I'm not afraid to say it. But if this was the team that we saw all season, well, then guess what? I wouldn't have had the opinions that I had during the season. There was a reason why I was down on this team, not really coming into the season. I thought the Knicks would be, 54, 55 wins. I've said that. I'm on the record. There's plenty of receipts out there. I thought that Tom Thibodeau should have been fired. With all due respect to Tom Thibodeau, time for a change. Mike Brown wasn't my first choice. That's obvious. I wanted Malone. I was thinking other directions here. But once Mike Brown was hired, I said, I'm like, okay, he's solid. He's not going to, shake the earth in terms of enthusiasm. But what I liked about Mike is that he coached in big markets. He coached big stars, big names, big expectations, and he's got a really good offense. And I was excited to see what the Knicks offense, not to mention the implementation of their bench, which Mike Brown has obviously done. Like, I was excited about that stuff. And then the season started, and then they won the cup. And after they won, you want to tell me it's a cup hangover? I mean, stop, man. You make it seem like it was a grueling 3-week stretch. Oh, my God, the Knicks exerted so much energy. How could they possibly recover from winning the midseason cup? Stop already. But for those of you who are looking for an apology, or those of you who, and there's a lot of you out there, now, spoiler, you're not going to get it, but those of you who think that, or try to position the way the Knicks have looked the last month or so, that this is the team that we were watching since late October, that is a fallacy. That is not true at all. I'm going to give you some numbers to back it up. First of all, before we even get into the numbers, what a shellacking. What was there, 70% Knicks fans in Philly? I mean, what happened? Not that I really care, but what happened to Philadelphia, the sports town? My God. I mean, yesterday was amazing. Yesterday was kind of, the way it started out, it was like, are they going to win by 51? Like again? Like it had that look. And when Deuce started knocking down those triples, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, it's over. And I felt good going into the game because when Embiid plays, you just see how limited he is physically. He just can't move. And the Knicks are connected in a way now that they just were not connected all season. I'm sorry. You guys want me to paint a different picture. The picture that I'm always going to paint is I'm going to tell you what I see. And, well, first I'm going to tell you what I expect to see coming into a season or coming into a game or coming into a series. Then I'm going to watch. And then if I'm proven right, not that I'm looking to take victory laps, but, okay, I was proven right. If I'm proven wrong, I've always been man enough to say, my bad, I messed up. I was wrong on that. I told you the Knicks would beat the Hawks in 6. I thought the Knicks would beat Philly in 5. I was wrong by 1 game. They beat them in 4. They broomed them. They swept them. But again, guys, like this Knicks team can win the championship. And I know it's going to get tougher, and it's going to be I fully expect the Pistons to win, and advance, but it's going to be a more physical matchup. It's going to have a different, like aesthetically, it's going to look very different. Not that I don't think the Knicks will be able to do many elements of what they've been doing recently, but, and again, I don't even want to get into the matchups, but I'm just saying, like, Cade Cunningham is a big guard, different problems for Brunson, whatever. But understand this, guys. The Knicks from December 31st till January 19th were 2-9. 2-9. Like, I don't know. The Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't remember too many times where they lost 9 of 11 games, or Michael and Scotty, either iteration, with Rodman or with Horace Grant before that. Yeah, I don't remember those guys, losing 9 of 11. I remember the Celtics with Bird and McHale losing 9 of 11. I don't remember Magic and Kareem and James Worthy losing 9 of 11. I don't even remember Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets, who really only had Hakeem and a bunch of really good role players, ever losing 9 of 11. Maybe they did. But like in the NBA, it's not like baseball where so many games and there's like at some point, invariably, there's going to be a bit of a malaise that enters the baseball season, even for the almighty Dodgers, right? Dodgers don't have the best record of baseball right now. Last year, the Dodgers were amazing, and then they got healthy, and they got their pitching back, and then they became really amazing again, right? So basketball's different. When you look for whether it's a month, and I don't mean like if your star is out, then that's totally different. But when you're healthy, and the Knicks were pretty healthy this year, when you're healthy, there shouldn't be such wild fluctuations in performance. Now, the only way there would be a wild, and this is where I give massive praise to the Knicks. I mean, this is a great day. I'm not here to criticize anything, but I've got to at least contextualize because I'm getting tired of the tweets. Oh, you owe this. I owe nobody anything except what I see. And what I see right now is a team that I think has a real chance to win the championship. And what I saw during the regular season, too much, really was the opposite. A team that didn't look connected, a team that didn't have a great identity. Yes, they had Jalen Brunson, who could drop 40 and could beat you that way. And obviously, some nights Cal was going to put up big numbers, but we didn't see this. And anything that's presented other than what I just said is a recreation of the reality of what the Knicks were during the regular season. There was always a pecking order of those that we really thought like NBA championship DNA. Obviously, the Thunder, right? And then, of course, we wanted to put the Knicks there, but every time they played the Pistons, and with Tatum, this is before Tatum came back, with Tatum out and with the Pacers ravaged with Halliburton, I mean, when the measuring stick games for the Knicks this year did not go that well. I know they played well against Denver. I get that. I know they beat the Spurs. I get that. But like in terms of the East, they didn't just lose by a couple of points to the Pistons. They were punked by the Detroit Pistons. So if you were emboldened by that, God bless you. Maybe you've got a vision and the ability to foreshadow in a way that I don't. Because what had happened was, right? So again, just to reiterate, December 31st, January 19th. I know there's a couple of day hangover from the Cup. Understood. They were 2-9. Now, let's get to Cat, because this is where every single thing changed. Even with the foul issues in this series, unlike the Hawks, right? Karl Anthony Towns in December averaged 2.3 assists per game. In January, he averaged 2.9. In February, he averaged 2.5. And then in March, he averaged 2.8. What do you know? The last month of the season, the regular season, is when the Knicks started doing a lot of really running the offense through the pick and roll with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. And in April, all those 2s, 2-3, 2-9, 2-5, 2-8, his assist total during the regular season ballooned to 6.5. In the playoffs, it went up to 7. So don't tell me that they're playing the same way. Now, if you want to tell me that this was by design and that Mike Brown held some elements out until, okay, I can get behind that a little bit there. I could, because Mike Brown's a very innovative head coach. But all the other stuff, again, it's really just it's a recreation of the reality of what we've watched for the last 5 or 6 months. This Knicks team was not the team that I was criticizing, because if it was, I would have been leading. Listen, if anything, I get too giddy. If anything, I get too excited. If anything, I jump the gun. Aaron Rodgers, sometimes I'm delusionally optimistic. I do admit that. I'm not a fatalist. There are certain, and I had Joe on the show the other day, and Beningo was great. I mean, if you didn't catch that interview, you got to catch that interview from, obviously burying the Mets and Stearns and Cohen and, the Pete Alonso stuff and everything else, to acid trips and concerts and what happened with his first marriage and golf. Like, it was great. And I love Joe. And Joe is obviously a dear friend. Obviously, if you watch the show, you can tell that, right? But Joe and I are very different. And I've always said this. Joe leans more to the fatalistic side because Joe's older by about 20-something years. He's seen a lot more, damaging, uninspiring implosions than I have. He's also a Mets fan. I'm not. So that's times 2 as a Jets fan. And that's Joe. I'm the guy. I'm the lunatic. I'm the moron. Put whatever word you want in there. I'm the dope. I'm the crazy, unhinged psychopath who came in when Rodgers got hurt and said playoffs with Zach. I mean, and that Timmy Boyle can spin it. So I am definitely more positive than not. I look to illuminate the good, and I like to lean into that. I like to jump into that. Now, even though what happened in Milwaukee this weekend, I still think the Yankees are going to be terrific this year. I love their pitch. I'm not getting to the Yankees. I'm just saying, I'm not going to let 3 games, even though the bullpen did not look good, and I don't think Aaron Boone had a really good weekend, whatever. I'm not going to flip on a dime like that. I believe that the Yankees will be there at the end. And coming into the season, I was much more optimistic than not about the moves that the Mets made. I understood what they did. I thought it was time for change. I thought the Mets would win 91 games and be a wild card team. And if you're a wild card team, you just don't know what's going to happen. So I come in, especially the Knicks, who I love. I come into every Knicks. I'm not talking about when they had Noah Vonleh and guys like that. When you look, this is a 23-win team, no matter what they do. I'm not talking about that. But in these the last half a decade, basically since Brunson's got here, the Knicks have been, I've been very positive about the Knicks, very optimistic, but I've also been very real about the Knicks. And the Karl Anthony Towns that we watched for a good chunk of this season, all right, maybe I got to stop calling him soft. Maybe I was a little heavy on that. Maybe I laid that on a little bit thick, because I would always say he's sloppy and he's soft. Remember that? The S words, right? Playing on the alliteration. He's soft and he's sloppy. And I would say that a lot. And then, the Mikal Bridges, bury him. But at the time, it was applicable because Cat didn't know his role. It wasn't year 1. And there's a finite window to morph into a championship team. I'm as stunned as anybody that the Knicks look the way that, not that they're winning, not that they're back in the conference finals. I am literally flat out, straight up stunned that stylistically, that their entire DNA has changed in a month. It's changed, which is reason to believe that this version can win a championship. And it's not a hot take. It's not like, let's just push this forward. Knicks are going to beat the Thunder. No, I'm enjoying this. And I hope that the Pistons and the Cavs beat the shit out of each other for a few more days, and that thing goes to 7, although I don't think that it will, and that OG's hamstring continues to heal up. Rest up, OG. Rest up, man. Your boys took care of you. And I hope that we get everything that we've been waiting for forever, all the years, right? that, you hold on to hope. Maybe we're going to get the lottery. Maybe the ping pong ball's going to go our way. Maybe we're going to get Zion Williamson. Maybe we're going to get this guy. Maybe this is the savior. This is the year that the Knicks get lucky. It has been a sad, a very morbid, uneventful run most of this century as a Knicks fan, where we were just watching a very different NBA game. Jealous of the dynasty that the Warriors became, jealous watching guys like LeBron and Kevin Durant and young James, not playoff James Harden, young James Harden just destroy the regular season. And all these, and Jokic and Jamal Murray win a championship and really, really just almost like banished to the outpost of NBA fandom. And then something different happened. And I don't know why I don't know exactly, like, I can't give you the precise moment that it clicked, where Brown's like, all right, let's unleash the pick and roll now. 65 games in, let's start playing this way. And everybody follows suit, and we'll have guys cutting on the baseline, and we'll get backdoor dunks, and Bridges will have even more open looks, and we'll take away some of the stress and some of the responsibility off of Jalen Brunson's plate. I don't know. I mean, if that really was a carefully constructed plan that was kept in the garage until, game number 65 until now, well, then he's even better than I thought. Like, I know Mike Brown's competent, but if that's the case, I mean, maybe the guy's a genius. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. But listen, I have been surprised. We've all been surprised by playoff games, right? Situations like, wow, this team lost that series in 7. That was a surprise. Or a wild card game or an NFC divisional matchup. Wow, this team went into, I don't know, Gillette Stadium or up to Buffalo or out in San Francisco, whatever it might be, and they won a game that they weren't supposed to win. Like, that's sports. That happens all the time. Wow, this team got to the Final Four. My God. There's been a lot of surprises. That's the beauty of sport. What's different here is that this is a transformation. This is not just playing good ball at the most opportune time. They are playing so differently. And because they're playing differently, they now officially have a chance to do something that hasn't been done since 1973. I mean, they are just knocking the stuffing out of everybody. So you're down 2-1 in the Hawks series. Now it's go time. All right. Knicks won 50-plus games in a regular season like they were supposed to do on autopilot. Check, they did that. All right. Knicks first round, they have home court advantage. They're supposed to do that. Okay. Knicks win the first game against a team they're supposed to beat fairly easily. Okay. Then they lose game 2. I don't like the way that looked. Then they lose game 3. And I never thought they would lose the series, but think about what, even in real time, think about what's transpired since then. 16-point road win, 29-point home, 16-point road win, 29-point home win, 51-point road win, plus 39 at home, plus 6 at home, plus 17 on the road, plus 30 on the road. I mean, it's really all because of the way they've changed. I got a good stat for you here. Since February 1, all right, Cat and Brunson are the number 1 NBA duo in points per direct on ball screens. Nobody's been more efficient. Nobody's done more. They were not doing that in late October, November, December. Even when they won the Cup, they weren't doing that, right? January, certainly were not doing that when they lost a ton of games and they had that Cup hangover. They have recreated who they are. They have maximized the personnel, and that is a tribute to everybody in the organization. That is a tribute to Leon Rose, because there were many points where, we're like, all right, dude, did he fire that bullet for Bridges? He gave up all the, was that the right move? Got no complaints with it now. And really, last year against the Celtics, when he was making winning plays at the end, I didn't have much of an issue with it, and neither did you. So Leon Rose, credit, check. The head coach, adjustment, check. Jalen Brunson has made some internal and then obviously on the court external adjustments, check. Karl Anthony Towns had to make the most adjustments, so we give him a double check. OG's remained steady. Deuce got healthy. The bench got healthy. Brown trusts the bench. And the Knicks are absolutely rolling people. Absolutely dismantling people. It is amazing what the New York Knicks have done. So let me get my guy J-Rod up in here. Jay, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I mean, not the clap, because all right, that was awesome, man. I have not been this happy about a playoff win. Like a Celtics, this is like to me, this equates as like a Celtics first round play. Like to my joy of just seeing Embiid fall like this. It just
So it's not pro Knicks, it's anti Sixers. I get
oh
that.
my gosh,
I get
dude.
it. Just checking.
Did you see his quotes after the game? You've never seen him like this, saying, "I don't know if I'm going to be here next season." And to the credit of the Knicks, this is now 2 straight seasons where, granted, the Tatum injury occurred, where they have in the second round dismantled the team's roster. Where in the offseason following, this team's looking completely different the next regular season.
I mean, you got to listen. This is more about the Knicks here, but Philly needs to take a wrecking ball.
Number
over. One, their sports fandom and understand what it's like. Don't tell me about it's money. Hey, there's a lot of Philadelphia 76er fans. I want to hear it. Like, if the Sixers were, ask yourself this question. If Philly was up, 3-1 or 3-0 yesterday, is that place packed? Of course it is. Are there, 13,000 Knicks fans? Of course there's not. So don't give me the convenient excuse that there's more Knicks fans and it's economically driven. Stop. I mean, Philly as a sports town has lost its soul. They have become front runners. And they are very, very which I get this part. They're very disengaged from this team, and I don't blame them. They've got to take a wrecking ball to the roster. And even if you get back, you're not going to get a ton, 60 cents back on the dollar for Embiid, ship him out, give Maxey the ball, give Edgecombe the ball, and just let those cats cook. I mean, because if you try to keep running this back the way that they're built, it will get worse and worse. And you will not only will you not get better as a team, you could stagnate the early, great years of some of these really good young players where Embiid's getting in the way. I mean, and Maxey after the game yesterday, he's like, listen, it's ridiculous. He was talking about the fans. It's unfortunate and it is, but it's not my problem. It's their problem. So the Sixers right now have no chance to win a championship unless they were to do something with Giannis over the offseason.
Yeah.
This team is obviously regressing fast. So they are an afterthought. They are no longer, and they really haven't been, a true player in the East because their best player is physically unreliable, and his skill set and the way he moves and the pace in which he plays does not match the skill set of their other young guns who were terrific. So put Philly aside, all right?
Big time.
But like, go back to what I said before, because this is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna actually do it for you. I'm just gonna read a couple things here. So after the game yesterday, I tweet out whatever I tweeted out. Great job. I'll find it here, and I'm gonna actually read you some of the comments here. All right. This is what I don't get about fans. Like, I mean, guys, and I really don't care. I truly don't. Okay. So I tweeted this yesterday. I've been surprised by teams winning a playoff game or even a series many times. Not sure I've ever seen a team flip a switch quite the way the Knicks have this season. And I'll stand by that, right? If you believe this is the team we've watched all season, you're full of shit. It wasn't. Not even close. Amazing transformation, right? And then obviously I give them a ton of credit. And then, people like this team, this was always the team. You just had to look harder, blah, blah, blah. And then I get the people parachuting in. And this is hysterical, man, where people are like, oh, you're not a good Knicks fan. You're a front runner. See, now I'll let others be the ultimate judge. All right. In my opinion, I'm the best Knicks fan. Number one, I've seen everything. I didn't see Clyde and Wilder, so I shouldn't say everything, but I saw the 90s Knicks, obviously, and I never checked out this century when many of you did, and you could pretend that you didn't. Don't tell me that you were watching some of these wretched teams. You weren't, all right? I know you weren't, and that includes a lot of people in our business, right? So, and I wrote this as well. As impressive a stretch of Knicks basketball in my lifetime. I mean that, right? Because even the 90s teams, they would have to grind it out, win by 4 or 5 points, right? One game after another, seemingly better than the last. Coaching, offense, defense, starters, reserves. Absolutely incredible run. More to do, yes. But right now, nothing to do but salute. My little emoji salute, right? I do that when I tell you to like and subscribe. And now, right? Now, hold on. This is where you get this. Yeah, this is, I'm reading this now, and it's amazing. And There's a bunch of stuff about me and Sal. I won't bring Sal into it, but because we had slightly different takes on the Knicks coming into the year, slightly. But the amount of people who selectively, it really is just, it's amazing. And it speaks to the infantile nature and the inability to critically think by so many people. Like, that's what it comes down to. People can no longer critically think. Like, they think that one opinion, okay, is that you have to remain married to that forever. Oh, you checked out on the Knicks. I did say that the previous, whatever that Knicks team was this year, I mean this year, the team that was playing poorly and were not running the offense through the pick and roll and through Cat and all the other things that they've done, which we know, that team was winning nothing. So yes, I got on the coach. Yes, I got on Cat. Yes, even the great almighty Jalen Brunson caught a little shrapnel because pound, dribble, pound, shot hunting. I'm like, you're not winning a championship this way. I said it. I stand by it. Now, if the Knicks were getting ready for the Eastern Conference Finals after sweeping the Sixers and they played the same way that they played during the season when I was critical, well, then that's one thing. It is a completely different, same players outside of Alvarado, right? Same players, but it's a completely different style and it's a completely different mode of attack. And if people can't see that, then they're idiots. I don't know what to tell them. I give up. That's their problem.
And this is something, you know, I'm beginning to realize about sports fans is it really is divided into two. You know, you've got your kind of and people kind of your fans like Jerry Ferraro, your cautiously optimistic fans who no matter what happens, and this isn't a bad thing. This is like, but they keep a pretty optimistic view on the team, regardless of what happens. If things really go downhill, they'll look at it realistic. But you know, they're riding with their guys, and I think Ben
Stiller.
Yes, exactly. And I think that typically leaves, you know, a very positive outcome at the end of the season because either win or lose, you are with your guys. But I think it's almost more fun to be that realistic sports fan, that day to day, take it how you will, look at the team, assess them for what they are, and then, you know, spit it out and then look at the team where they are now and go, okay, they're looking great. Yes. They're looking great. Deuce is looking great. And what I think the best thing is, I mean, Shamet, he went from being not even playable, maybe not even playable, but not even playing to balling.
I've always liked Shamet. I remember telling Sal last year, I'm like, Shamet's got to play more. I have always liked Shamet. I have always been a believer. That I can stand by, you know, because people were clowning me like Shamet. I'm like, dude, Shamet could play. Yeah. Just because, you know, you might not know about Shamet. Knicks fans are like Shamet or respect Shamet or just whatever it is, doesn't mean that you're right. Like Shamet's a good two-way NBA player, period.
On the Clippers, he was awesome. Like,
yes. I remember running through his Clippers numbers.
Yeah, he's a baller. But they do, you're right. And especially the Cat assist numbers, just playing them differently. What is he averaging? Almost 8 assists right now, at least for that.
Change. Well, but think about this. This bears repeating, right? And I'm trying to think of, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, I'm not saying it's going to be a great example, okay? But I'm going to try to correlate and show something here. I'll take the Jets, all right, just for a moment. Let's say the first month of the season, the Jets come out, Frank Reich, right? And they've got all these weapons, you know, 4 guys that are sub 440s. I've talked about it. Great team speed. And because of that, and because of the fact that they actually have a quarterback, right? You know, not a great one, but certainly a competent. They come out in the first month of the first 5 games of the season, they throw it 35, 40 times a game. And they're trying to air it out. And they kind of abandon the run. Not that they'll do that with Brees. I'm not saying it's a great example, but follow me, right? And then they recalibrate after that 5th game. And say they even win 2 of those first 5 games, but you know it's not sustainable. The rushing attack is like 27th in football, right? And then Glenn knocks on Reich's door or whatever, and they have a come-to-Jesus moment as a staff. We need more balance. And they flip it. And now instead of being 70-30 pass, they are now about as close to 50-50 as you could be. A lot of play action, establish the run, you know, move the sticks, not looking to score 30-plus, but just killing the clock a little bit. And they become a better team. And let's just, again, this is this crazy world now. I'll take the example even further. Let's say they make the playoffs, right? 9 wins, they get in 10-7, whatever. Well, if I'm on the air and they're 2-3 or 1-4 because they're trying to air it out like, Jim Kelly with the Bills run and shoot back in the day, I'm like, this ain't going to work. And I'm shitting all over them. This is not good. This is not how you're going to win. And then the next 5 games, they totally changed their style and their success. And I jump in. I'm like, oh, okay, now this is a team that I can get behind. That's not a flip-flop, you idiots. That is watching what's changed. That is watching the evolution of the team. And how people don't comprehend that, to me, it really is, it just speaks to the inability of a lot of people to really, truly, critically think. I really believe. And by the way, something else too, Jay, and we'll get these calls. I see a long line of calls fired up. We'll get them. So you bring up like my buddy Jerry, right? Jerry was on the show the other day. Check it out if you didn't. Great. And I'm going to get Jerry back on long format, get into that entourage story that he was telling us that, when he didn't think he was going to have to go shoot a scene and he was in the trailer banging one back and they had to shoot and they were out of their minds. That'll be one of many stories you'll hear from Jerry. I love him. I've known him since 2006. He's a good buddy, right? But the difference between me and Jerry and the difference between me and Ben Stiller and say even like Fat Joe, I don't think really Fat Joe tweets a ton. I know he's a big Knick guy. But like those guys, they can just be fans. I've got to have opinions based on what I see. It's kind of how I've made my living. Now I'm making a living differently now, but you can't go on WFAN and like, Knicks look okay. I don't know if I love what I'm seeing, but they'll be fine. Like you've got to get a little more micro and analyze things and call things out. Now, to really be respected, and I think to have the equity within the fan base, which I do think that I have. I think that people, for the most part, respect my opinions, even though some are nutty, because I do base it on some numbers, some facts. I'm passionate, whatever. But to do that, you've got to be able to then say you were wrong. It's not, I was wrong. But no. Yeah, I was wrong. But here's why I'm wrong. Yep. Because of the change in approach to the game, which again goes to Mike Brown and Cat first and foremost. And then residually, you get a little Brunson, you sprinkle in a little Bridges, and here we are. And here we are on the precipice of, certainly the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, maybe, but I mean, it has been as exhilarating and ass-kicking that I've ever seen as a Knicks fan. It is when you have the national commentary, people love to dump on the Knicks, right? Whether it's Barkley, whether it's Shaq, whether it's whomever, right? I mean, the platitudes, and because they've earned them, that people are bestowing upon the Knicks, it's not because, I just have a little bit of a different opinion on these Knicks now because if they're hating on the Knicks, I'm going to change my tune and just be nice to them. They are changing their opinions, and they are beginning to really get in the corner in terms of conviction with what the Knicks could do this year because the Knicks aren't the same team that we watched for 80% of the season. Bottom line. All right. Let me get Mike Liano. What's up, Mike? Appreciate that, buddy. One key thing about the Knicks team is that they're all in their prime. True. Brunson's 29, Cat's 30, OG 28, Bridges 29, Hart's 31, Mitch 28, Deuce 25, Alvarado 28. They're not old. They're not too young. It's their time. Well, yes. That's a great point. You can leave it up there. Give him a little love there for the super chat. True. Now, if Brunson was 25 and Cat was 26 and they were just beginning this journey and OG was in his, 23 or 24 years old, just a couple of years in the NBA, and like Bridges is in his mid-20s and like Mitch was just drafted 2 years ago. Like when you have pointed criticism, you got to understand, guys, it is all reflected and largely based on the timeline of the core that you're evaluating. Like, why do you think, I mean, aside from being tired of the same script, too often with Brian Cashman, whatever, part of the reason why the energy for the Yankee fans, like, it's got to be now. Like, let's go. You got to go all in and all the stuff over the winter, like the run it back Yankees, which is not true, but all that stuff. And I respect people who say that. They're not totally wrong, a little wrong, but not totally. That is all derived from the fact that Aaron Judge, the clock is ticking. He's basically his mid-30s. Same with Garrett Cole, So when you look at that, there is going to be a different level of accountability and hope and sporting anger. And it's all one twisted, jumbled delivery of emotions that really, I think, are defined by what like the prime of the team. Another example, maybe a better one, will be the Giants this year. As long as the Giants have incremental progress, which I believe that they will, under number one, they've got a great coach now, or at least a really, really good one. Great, maybe really good. Either way, close to great. You know what? He won. He's got one. I'll say great. I love Harbaugh, right? But Jackson Dart's going into year 2. He missed a couple of games last year. Like, if the Giants are 1-3 and, they're not committing 15 penalties a game, they'll lose a couple of tight ones. Maybe Dart makes a mistake, whatever. Don't you think the level of analysis should be a little different than, say, what Bills fans are viewing, like that prism with Josh Allen, or even, as Mahomes comes back from injury, or Stafford with the Rams? It's different. Even the Lions, with Goff, who's been around for, I'm not saying he's on that level, but he is their quarterback, and they were almost in the Super Bowl, a couple of years back before the Commanders smashed them. So I don't know. I just think that the Knicks now it's a couple of things. It's like this tsunami of perfect emotion where they incrementally built up the talent base, obviously. And even before that, with just Randall and Tom Thibodeau playing hard, playing competitive, then they got, which we always respect Randall for that. Then they got better players. Then they took it up a level. Then they took it up another level, right? Then they, changed the coach, and now it looks like they're taking it up another level. Like, how many more levels are there before you actually get through? To me, I don't think there's any. Like, I don't know that you'll ever have a more perfect situation than you do right now. Well, again, a lot of this stuff is a regurgitation. I won't do much of it, but think about, the Pacers who knocked him out. Their star's done. All right. Obviously, Tatum's a champion, great player. And he gamely competed and was still really good when he came back for the Celtics. Ruptured Achilles, didn't pull his hamstring. His Achilles rolled up like a lampshade to the back of his calf, connecting from the back of his ankle bone all the way up to his calf. That's a problem, right? Pistons are young, good, tough, dangerous, viable, a real threat. I'm not worried about the Cavs for whatever reason, but, I'll just throw them in there. Knicks will beat the Cavs, and I even think the Knicks will beat the Pistons, but the Pistons are just beginning their journey because Cade Cunningham is one of the best players in the game, and he's an absolute pup. Jalen Brunson's becoming a bit of an OG now. He's been around a little bit, more 35-point games than this guy in NBA playoffs, more 40-point games than this Bernard King. He's not 23 years old. So when you have a payroll, when you've exhausted all of your draft capital and all the equity for trades, right? When you've changed coaches, when the players that get the bulk of the minutes are the ages that they are, yes, there's going to be pointed criticism even during the regular season, which is largely a waste of time in the NBA. But I don't want to hear it. I don't. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. I do want to hear it. You could by all means call me up and disagree, but we're going to get after it here. If you can tell me with a straight face, right, that what I said when I said it about the Knicks, that was wrong back then, we'll flush through it. And, if you can truly convince me, which you can't, but I'll be open-minded to give you a chance to try to do it, then I might have to say, you know what, you got me. But everything that I've said has been rooted in the reality of what I was watching in real time, which the last time I checked is actually the description, one of them, also entertaining and all that, of my job. So it's just, it is so fun. It is so awesome. And it is so fun. And it is so awesome because they have grown, they have evolved, they have really, truly accepted their roles in a way that they just weren't doing earlier in the year. And Exhibit 1 and I'll get the calls here. Exhibit 1 in training camp was Karl Anthony Towns. Hey, Karl, what's your role in the offense this year? I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. All right. I'm saying to myself, I didn't love it. And I remember bringing it up on the show on when I was still on the Fan, but I didn't make a big deal out of it. It's training camp. You got a new coach who's very different from the previous coach. They'll figure it out. He's a talented guy, even if I thought he was a little soft, whatever. They'll figure it out. And then midseason, he was asked again. Yeah, I don't really know what's expected of me. I'm supposed to think that that's a team that's going to win a championship? Why would I think that? But what's happened since, I do. And it's not a flip-flop, guys. It's a contextualization of the entire season. All right, J-Rod. Everybody's got to be happy today. Everybody's got to be pumped up. Let's go, Knicks.
Let's
go. New York, go. Who's up first here, Jay? What do we
We've got Dan from Port Jefferson Station.
All right, Danny is out east. He is on Unleashed. Dan, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Danny.
Hello, Dan.
Yes, Dan.
I'm here. You hear
All
me?
right, Dan. Let's go,
sick.
buddy. Come on, man.
All right. Hey, BT, what's going on?
Hey.
What a masterclass. Like, the way they played in this whole series, honestly. I mean, I feel like they didn't really sweat at all, the Knicks.
I know.
It was like, and I was expecting a little more of a push, but really get it, especially with their fan base. What an embarrassment. They just
Embarrassment, dude. Dan, you know what's crazy, too, Dan? When the Celtics and the Sixers were playing, in my mind, I'm like, I think I'd rather play the Celtics. Like, from not even from, forget about, like, the non-tangible stuff like Boston, New York. Forget about that. But, and you know, they beat them last year. More about, I just thought the matchups were a little bit more favorable. I was never worried about Philly. I respected Embiid if he's healthy. I know he's a beast, and I know that Maxey is terrific, and Edgecomb's a good young player, and I've got a lot of respect for Nick Nurse, and he's been through the ringer. He buried his brother. Prayers to the Nurse family. Just awful. So much more important than basketball. But I actually thought that the Sixers, at least, you know, when things were still shaping up in the first round, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'd rather play Boston in a weird way. I don't think they would have swept the Celtics.
Yeah, I know. I was on the fence. I didn't know really who I wanted to play. I mean, I was more thinking about home court, if anything. I feel like it would beat either team. But what I was most surprised by, and I brought this up, I called you last week. I was talking about Maxey. That was my biggest concern, and I feel like he was. I want to ask you this: do you think it was the defense on him, or was it just he just wasn't aggressive? I feel like his aggression wasn't there.
I think it was a couple of things. Number one, the Knicks play very good team defense. So you've got to give him credit there, first and foremost. Right. Number one. Number two, you know, without Embiid, he looked a little different. You know, Embiid just kind of gets in his way a little bit. He just does.
Slows everything down.
Yeah, you know, and not that Sprewell is the kind of player like Maxey, different games, obviously, both fast, but not exactly the same kind of skill set, but a loose interpretation. Patrick kind of got in the way on that team. With all due respect to the great Patrick Ewing, the 94 Knicks, where Pat was the centerpiece, versus the 99 Knicks, where, of course, Pat was hurt and jacked up against the Spurs. But that was now Sprewell and Allen Houston, at lesser extent, Larry Johnson. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of that. Pat was older. Pat was slower. Pat was used to having the offense funnel through him. It wasn't seamless. Maybe a little bit. And also with the pinky injury. And Tim Legler talked about this. And you could see the wrap when you've got a tendon in your tendon issue in your pinky. You know, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's hard to get that release and get that smooth release on your shot. And,
for sure. But Danny, even just catching passes, even just, you know, rerouting the ball like that pinky, man, it's
a small thing, but yeah, it does make it's a big factor, especially when you're a shooter and a guy like him.
A little bit, man.
But I wanted that, like that sequence by Brunson in the second half when he just crossed up. He just like put Barlow in a blender, man. He gets the reverse layup right on Embiid. And then Deuce gets the steal right after that. And he hits the three in the corner. I'm like, that's the nail in the coffin right there.
Yes.
I mean, it was already like over. But I'm like, that was it. I'm like, that I was going nuts.
Me too. Now that was just showtime. That was like, let's lay it on thick and let's dance on their graves. Thank you for the call, Dan. Now that sequence was awesome. You know what's funny? You know, and I first heard this from my dad, right? You know, the 69 and 73 Knicks, I guess we're a little different in the sense that Pearl was not there for the first one. He came in 73, right? And then obviously, you know, Willis Reed was jacked up, limping out, hitting 2 shots against the Lakers, then not playing. But the thing that my dad always told me, the characteristics of those Knicks teams, right, were great unselfishness and great IQ. You know, Clyde seeing the floor, Bill Bradley being as brilliant a basketball player, not as great, even though he was really good, but as brilliant an IQ as maybe anybody who's ever played the game, probably up there with Bird and some of the Magic, some of those guys, right? Kobe. And, you know, the way they played with purpose for each other. That sequence that Dan just brought up first of all, that move by Brunson, the only way he could finish was to go reverse under the rim. Otherwise, it's getting shoved down his throat. But then what happened right after it? First of all, Deuce with the quick read, switching from his man and reading the eyes on the inbound from Embiid, lazy pass. Embiid's so lazy. The guy flops like a fish, man. all over. I'm so tired of Embiid, right? So to read the pass was great. But then, to me, I even think the most impressive part of that play was Bridges. It's almost like this sixth sense, like, oh, there's my guy in the corner, not even hitting the floor. And I used the word connected and connectivity to describe these Knicks a lot, not during the season, but the last month or so, certainly since the playoffs started, and certainly since game 4 of maybe not the first couple of games, but certainly game 4 of the Hawks and the sweep of Philly, just like all 5 fingers making one powerful, potent fist, right? That play, it just gave you everything. If there was like one thing that you had to show the world, hey, what are these Knicks about? Nobody, like, they just came from outer space, right? Let's say there's basketball in outer space, so they kind of know what the sport is, but they don't know the Knicks. They don't know any of the teams. They don't know any of the skill sets. And like, hey, you guys, welcome to Earth here. You should check out this team. They're called the New York Knicks. Haven't won in a long time, but check out this sequence. Oh, or check these guys out. And then the alien or the Martian or the little person from wherever says, oh, how do they play? Just pop it on. Just go to X. Go to YouTube. How about this little 7-second sequence? Oh, that's Jalen Brunson, who basically gets a bucket whenever he wants. And then, oh, yeah, watch the Knicks defense and then watch how they are linked almost like they've got literally the same DNA. And that pass by Bridges in the corner, not even like, oh, is he open? There wasn't a thought. It was steal, bang, tip, boom, corner, boom, 3. Lights out. Absolutely gorgeous. Just a great, really just a great encapsulation of how they play. Gorgeous stuff. All right, Jay, what do we got next? Who do we have next?
We've got Brad from Mineola, Smithtown.
By the way, guys, if you're just checking in, welcome to the show. Like it, subscribe it. You know, we got a decent amount of viewers up there. We got to get to at least 3 bills today. Come on, but make sure you guys do what you're supposed to do with the likes and all that stuff.
Wait,
what's up, Brad? How are you?
No, something happened. He like removed himself from the thing immediately when I tossed him up.
A little stage fright there,
oh,
Brad.
He's back.
Oh, there's Brad.
All right,
what's
Brad,
up, Brad,
can you hear us?
Yeah, I had to do your trick, J-Rod.
No,
nice.
All good.
He's learning. Look at J-Rod teaching everybody. Nice, dude.
All right, so BT, you were alone in the it was in June, I believe, last year, and I got called today. And I got called today because all I was saying was the reason why the Knicks are not going to win anything is because Cat is fat. He can't run up and down the court because he's fat. He can't do this because he's fat. It's time to eat crow. He's point Cat. It's absolutely incredible, the change that he made. It could be the fact that he's now figuring out how to play in New York, one. Yep. It could be that he's now engaged. It could be now that he's more of a mature individual. Listening to his press conference last night, and obviously it was emotional because of his mom and everything like that.
Yep.
I think we found what we were expecting from Cat, and it might have took this long for that to happen.
Well, interesting. No, listen, he deserves a lot of apologies, and you know I'll throw a few out as well. I never called him fat. I never body shamed the guy. But what I did say about Cat is like, you know, for dude, I wish he had a little bit more muscle. Like, you know, he's more. Listen, but that's also DNA. No, that's also genetics, I should say, not DNA, genetics. Like some people, you can live in a weight room and you're just not going to have that definition. Like he's not yoked, he's big, you know, he's kind of strong. But listen, the criticisms of Cat, and he's incredibly skilled, which is the main point. Okay. Remember when he was trying to post up Westbrook earlier this year? Remember that? And he got shoved out of the post. Okay. The other thing too, Brad, and this is why, and I'm giving him his praise, and I'll even, you know, apologize to an extent. Although when I said it, I meant that I was right. Because think about this. Now, if you're the type of Knicks fan who doesn't watch every game, you may have missed this. If you're like myself, and evidently like Brad, who's called about the Knicks in June, this was back on the Fan, and many others like you who watch every game, you will remember, and it used to drive me nuts. First of all, you always complain to the refs. Always complain to the refs. Always,
he still
right?
Does.
No, not the way. No, not the way
not
he
the
used
way he
to.
does now. I agree.
You know, but Brad, the other thing that he did, and I remember, you'd have to really dive deep into my timeline on X, but I have video of it because it bothered me so much. He would go to the rim, kind of get knocked off his path, off balance, missed a shot, not get fouled, complain about it. A couple of times he was on the floor and he would stay on the floor while you had 5-on-4 the other way.
Yep.
And literally, one time I counted, this is where I was at my most aggressive against Cat. 12 seconds it took him to get down the court to actually get into the frame. It's unacceptable. So we have not seen that in well over a month. He has made adjustments. What's been the impetus behind those adjustments? I don't know. Maybe Brad just gave us a couple, learning how to play in New York, retooling his game, Mike Brown empowering him, Jalen Brunson tweaking. I think they're all interconnected, but Cat deserves an immense amount of credit. He is balling.
BT,
Yeah.
quick, two more things, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you follow college. I always loved Landry Shamet at Wichita State, just never really got the opportunity, and he's getting it.
Yep.
And we did this without OG Anunoby.
I know. It's amazing. I said that at the top there. I know you have one other thing, so why don't you hit me with that? No, I mean, the ability to keep OG, even if the Knicks, and they won game 3, but, you knew there was no way he was going to play game 3. And once they won game 3, you knew there was no way he was going to play game 4. You knew it. Perfect.
BT, I'm just going to say this. For all those Knicks fans that lived through the early 2000s, the late 2000s, the ones that loved the Christmas Day games, the ones that loved those games in March, that they beat teams that they shouldn't have beat, but you knew that this team was not good enough. Enjoy this. We are 8 wins away from a championship.
There you go, buddy.
And I
love it.
And I hope that we're in the same bar and we can cheers when they win, when they go down the Canyon of Heroes. Love you, BT. Keep it going.
I love you too, man. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. But I love you guys too. Yeah. Oh my God Almighty. The Canyon of Heroes. That would be the wildest Canyon of Heroes of all time. I mean, maybe outside of, honoring, war heroes. I mean, I know the 86 Mets was pretty bonkers, but not the entire, a lot of Yankee fans, more Yankee fans than Mets. All the Yankee championship, a lot of Met fans. So that's kind of offset a little bit. The Rangers, that was pretty wild, no doubt. In '94, not everybody's a hockey fan. Some Islander fans, some Devil fans. Although mostly Ranger fans in the tri-state. I can't even imagine what that day would look like. But I'm beginning to allow myself to wander there, and that's okay. Some of you will live by the mantra one at a time. I am capable of doing both. Sometimes, not always successfully, but I am capable of sitting here today after stomping 2 teams, and now you have 2 other teams beating each other up for the right to play the Knicks while the Knicks chill and relax and do some advanced scouting that the other teams will not have the luxury of quite doing on the Knicks because they're worried about scouting each other and, playing that series. And I can be excited in the moment, what I just watched yesterday. And I can also allow my mind to wander to the Canyon of Heroes, to maybe the Thunder, to, the Knicks representing the Eastern Conference. I'm not saying they're definitely going to get there. Pistons would be a handful. Again, I wouldn't be really too worried about the Cavs, but that's something I've always lived by. Like when you're a big sports fan, I've said this, part of the balance of being a sports fan is riding the highs and being emotionally vulnerable when you're high. Like, isn't that kind of the fun? I mean, geez, if you can't walk around today as a Knicks fan thinking you have a chance to win a championship, when can you? I mean, when can you do that? Like even with Patrick and all those great teams and really good teams and all those wins, I'm like, Jordan, I'm worried about Jordan there, So even like when they were dusting teams like the Cavaliers early with like Harper and Elo and Brad Daugherty, or the Nets, with DC and Drazen. Great, Drazen was so good. Kenny Anderson, my guy Kenny, those guys. The Hornets, a young Hornets team with LJ, Grandmama, they beat a lot of those teams early. I was always terrified, like, God, how the hell are we going to beat this dude, Jordan? How are we going to beat Jordan? How? And then even the year when Jordan wasn't there in '94, I'm like, Pat, you got to outplay Olajuwon. And I knew at that point that Olajuwon was better. And he really, Sal used to get so mad when I talk about this, but it's true. He would defend Pat, which I get, but I mean, if you remember the 94 series, Hakeem Olajuwon absolutely destroyed Patrick. I know Patrick set a finals record for blocks and he had some rebounds. Pat shot like 37.5% from the field that series. He was just thoroughly outplayed. And I was worried about that going in because I knew how good Hakeem Olajuwon was. And to this day, I think Hakeem, maybe outside of Jabbar, not that I'm not going to put Hakeem better than Jabbar. I wouldn't do that. But when I think about maybe the two most underrated players in the history of the game, well, you think about the GOAT conversation, it's always like MJ for us old heads, the Unks, LeBron for the newer, younger fans, right? A couple of Kobe's, and I love Kobe, but he's definitely not in that conversation as the greatest of all time. He's just not. It's not Shaq. Maybe you want to throw up Russell as an all-time winner, Wilt as the all-time statistical dominant beast that he was, a little magic, a little bird. Nobody ever says Kareem. So I've always defended Kareem because to me, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 6 MVPs, 6 championships, most indefensible shot in the history of the game, and the most points for about 30 years before it was broken, before the record was broken, right? So Kareem is painfully either ignored or disrespected or glossed over, and I think Hakeem Olajuwon is next on that. Maybe Tim Duncan's in that category as well. Either way, just kind of a little bit of a referendum on the all-time greats. But like, if you can't juggle both, that's on you. I got no problem juggling. I'm thinking championship. I'm thinking, I'm thinking Pistons. I'm thinking Cavs. I'm thinking more Pistons, but I'm thinking Pistons and Cavs. Thinking NBA Finals. I'm thinking about being one of the 2 teams left. I'm thinking about watching Jalen Brunson and Cat on this massive stage. And yes, I would be very worried about the Thunder. I get it. I could do both. I could process both. And we don't have one brain cell, Maybe some of us killed a few along the way, but how can you not mentally juggle both? I don't get that. All right, Jay, who's up next?
Got our friend ST from London.
ST is in his house. What up, ST? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm awesome. Awesome.
I'm glad to hear it. I first want to just pause and give a shout out because I feel, man, that we spoke this into existence, talking about Breece Hall and this man gets his contract.
Oh, yeah. We weren't worried about it. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know about the guaranteed money. I thought it might be a little bit more than the 29 or 30 he got. But, hey, he's young. He's good. He's fast. He's valuable. Love it. Pumped about it.
Love it too. And you know what? You literally stole my word. I think we're mentally dancing, man, from across the pond. Because I literally was gonna come on here and say they are playing transformational ball, these Knicks, man. I mean, look, Bridges is bridging the gap, no pun intended. Brunson is just brunting it up. Deuce is shooting like Tony Kukoc since you're going back to the 90s. Legitimate 6-man, even though he's starting because OG's out. Cat is playing like Jokic, which is just absolutely insanity. I mean, I don't know. And I don't know what these people are sitting here busting your ass about through Twitter or whatever. But I've been listening to you for way too long, and I know exactly how you felt about the Knicks. So I would ignore that.
Oh, no, I just like to have a little bit of fun. It doesn't bother me. I just pointed out, that's
I would ignore that because honestly, like most Knicks, this is the gift and the curse of being a Knicks fan, right? It's like you got the ones that are diehard that will always go. It doesn't matter how insignificant we were for all those years. MSG, the Mecca, is always going to be sold out. Always.
Yep.
And they get away with charging those extortionate ticket prices. But also then you have the other Knicks fan that's like, well, you're a front runner. You just come into the party like, where were you? And it's like, man, I've been suffering my entire life. Like, where were you?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I always say this to a lot of people that have, an affiliation with very successful teams. You can't know joy without pain. So when people sit here and get mad that their team is not performing or their team that's used to winning everything has the most championships, well, I don't respect Patriots fans because, like, the thing is, like, you're upset that you were losing. Vrabel's brought you to the promised land. That's great in his first season, but you cannot know joy without pain.
Boy, I love that. That's good, man.
So it's like if you can't get mad at your team, and you can't exile from your team or put them on the back burner or the shelf because you are just used to winning, but you haven't lost. And nobody, and you know this, nobody's lost more than us Jets fans. So,
that's right,
so
man.
I wanted to bring the positivity, but I just feel that it's unnecessary for you to take those shots. I know you got to stiff up a lip and you can take it.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't care less.
But you know what? I just can't see anybody beating the Knicks right now. And just like you said, if now's not the time to hope and dream, then when is it? And
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man.
I swear to you, like my dad, we were talking about it last night. He goes, "Oh, well, who'd you rather face, Kate or the Beard?" I was like, I don't give a shit about either one of them because we will absolutely smack them into next week.
I love it.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Bring them all. Yep. OKC. I was at the last game at the Garden, March 5th, where we lost by 3. My brother took me there. He still lives in Washington Heights. Okay. I was whinging about wanting to see the game, but the tickets were extortionate, and he made it happen as a surprise. It was fantastic.
Nice.
$20 beers. You know how it goes in the Garden.
Of course, dude. But, I know it all, man. I know.
But in the end, we got those 2 last shots that we could have forced it to overtime.
Yeah.
We didn't, but the fan base was still happy. We were just like, oh, we didn't win. But I don't care. If we're destined to meet OKC, I reckon we can.
Let's go. Hey, by the way, what is that expression again? Joy and pain. What'd you say? Without joy?
I said you can't know or appreciate joy without pain.
Oh, remember the song by Rob Bass? Do you remember that? Joy. Come on.
And pain.
Keep it going.
Like
remember that one? Yeah.
And rain.
Sing it now, God's children.
Well done, man. Well done.
Money.
Great way to start the Monday.
Let's go, ST. I'll talk to you, brother.
Yeah, keep it easy and keep bringing the positive vibes. Keep doing the unleash and actually just embellish me for a minute as you hang up on me about what you think about the Jets and how this Cade Klubnik and Breece Hall things are going. Thank you so much.
You got it, my man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Klubnik sound. I'm not gonna go nuts on that because it's a big Nick day, but he sounded very impressive at the rookie workouts. I'm a winner, confident but humble, great perspective. I'm not gonna go nuts and say that the Jets stumbled upon their franchise quarterback here, but what he projected was really good, really good. It just reminded me. So I was texting with my sister yesterday, J-Rod, right? Wished her a happy Mother's Day, obviously, right? And ST just called, and he's obviously across the pond. And my sister was getting on a flight to finish up her studies at Oxford, right? That's where my sister is right now, at Oxford. I don't even know if it's her 3rd or 4th degree. I've lost count, dude. I have no idea.
Absurd, bro.
Oh, dude. Respect. She's the smart one in the family. I am convinced that if I sat down to take one test at Oxford, I honestly don't think I would get one question right unless it was multiple choice, and I stumbled upon it. I don't know how she's got 3 degrees. I don't know. I don't even know what she's doing.
What is she currently studying?
A lot of AI stuff, a lot of stuff like
interesting.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in finance. She was in finance for about 25 years, and she made a really great pivot, very high up in finance. She went to Oxford, I guess that would have been her junior year. She was undergrad at Boston College and then went to Oxford her junior year, and then obviously graduated from BC, went into the financial. Well, I didn't get into the financial sector right away, but that doesn't matter. A couple of years after that, she didn't know if she wanted to be a lawyer, didn't know if she wanted to be a doctor. Just brilliant. And like, she's the kind of person that would be a professional student if you let her. Like, she loves school. She loves it. Like, she loves getting on a plane to go and challenge her mind at Oxford. Like, I like sitting behind home plate watching my kids play ball.
Yeah,
like that's the joy that she gets from it. How the hell she's doing it. Now, do you know the Rob Bass song? Do you know that song, Joy and Pain?
Oh, I feel like
keep it going. That sunshine.
In passing, but never. I'll check it out.
Right. You're a young buck. Sing it now, God's children. All right, you know what? Let's do this here. We have a lot to do. All right, let's slap up the Booney promo. So we've got Yankee manager Aaron Boone, not tomorrow. We will have Aaron Boone on the show on Wednesday. Get it up. There you go. At 10:30 on Wednesday. It is confirmed. He got back to me. I wasn't sure if it was going to be 11 or 10:30. 10:30. Yankees manager Aaron Boone. And again, hopefully Booney has a couple of good days here. I don't want to get grumpy Booney when he comes on the show. I did not like the way the Yankees looked in Milwaukee over the weekend. So that's coming up on Wednesday. I told you I'm going to have Tiki on this week. Not confirmed yet, obviously. I mean, it's a little bit easier. No disrespect to Tiki. It's a little bit easier to have, Tiki's just not the manager of the Yankees, to get him on the show. I'm thinking I've got to see if this is conducive to his schedule. I don't know if it will be. Something around the Giants' schedule release. And the NFL will release everything on Thursday. So Tiki not confirmed yet, but we do have Boone on Wednesday at 10:30. It's going to be awesome. What else did I have to tell you? I had to tell you, about the Yankees. It's Big Nick Day, so I'm not going to do a lot of time on this here. But so Spencer Jones makes his debut. And, listen, he ran into some amazing pitching, struck out a ton. Nice to see him get his first knock up the middle line, drive base hit, made a nice diving play in center. Hopefully they keep running him out there. Stanton's nowhere near a return. Good to have Rodon back. He's got to get work out the kinks a little bit. Dominguez is going to be out a little bit here as well. But I just try to, I don't know if you guys get the same feeling. And I knew, because I've seen a lot of his clips here, that he kind of changed the stance a little bit. I cannot get comfortable watching that guy's batting stance. I don't care if he's on a heater. I don't care if Spencer Jones is 11 for 15 with 4 bombs. Like, that wacky stance is it doesn't give me peace of mind. Like, I try to fast forward to October, and not that I even think that he's going to necessarily be on the roster in October. Maybe he is. I don't know. I would think probably not. Excuse me, if everybody else is healthy. But I don't know, like 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning, 7th inning, 9th inning, high leverage spot, Yankees down a run, whatever it might be. Like Spencer Jones going in there with that wacky windup or that wacky stance. I don't know. It just looks very uncomfortable, man. And you know that he was feeling it, nervous, swinging out of his shoes, which he does anyway. But good to get his first knock, good to get his first RBI. But Yanks did not look good. But we will have over the weekend. We will have Boone coming up on Wednesday. All right, so let everybody know about that. Aaron Boone in the house coming up on Unleashed. Now, it is a Monday, and it's a little time for something here, J-Rod. Let's get this out of the way before I get back to the calls here. I got a good burning question segment for you. I think you guys will like this. Burning questions, of course, brought to you by my friends at Sullivan Papain, according to World and U.S. News and World Report, one of New York's best personal injury law firms, as general counsel to the New York City Firefighters Union, and they've done that for more than 4 decades. And the proud law firm of St. John's Athletics, Sullivan Papain, is New York's team fighting for New Yorkers for more than 100 years. Find them online at triallaw1.com. That's triallaw1.com. Remember the name, Sullivan Papain. Shout out to my good friends over at the firm. Hopefully they're enjoying the Nick run here. All right, question number 1. Got to have a little Nick theme here. Ooh, in order, list your 3 greatest Knicks of all time. I'm going to piss some people off with this. Now, I know it's funny. Anytime Patrick is asked about this, he says it's Clyde. Anytime Clyde is asked about this, he says it's Patrick. Patrick's got all the records. Clyde's got the championships. I've got to go Clyde 1, even though I never saw Clyde dribble the basketball live once. I've got to go with Clyde Frazier. I mean, come on. Think about some of the Game 7 performances. Think about, you talk about Jordan, always getting in the Knicks' way. Think about some of the teams that they had to battle, like Wes Unseld and the Bullets back then when they were the Washington Bullets. Jerry West and just Elgin Baylor, the Lakers. Come on, man. I'm going to go Clyde 1. Sorry, younger Knick fans. I'm obviously going to go Patrick Ewing, number 2. And I'm going to go, I thought about a little DeBusschere, a little Reed, a little Earl Monroe, but Earl wasn't here for the first championship. Bernard King is my first favorite Knick, but he was only here for 5 years. And I love him, but no, I'm definitely not going Melo. Some of you young people might. I'm going Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, number 3. I remember, and Sal thought I was nuts, and we got into it, and I stand by it. To me, obviously, Patrick's the second. You could even say Patrick's number 1. For me, he's number 2. So Clyde 1, Pat 2. But I remember saying on the Fan back in the day that, and this was very early in Jalen Brunson's run as a Knick, I'm like, Jalen Brunson impacts winning night to night more than Patrick did. And I believe that. And it's not a knock on Pat. Now, if Brunson wins a championship and he's here 5 more years, is there a situation that, he can usurp Pat at number 2? I mean, that seems like a bit of a stretch there. And having impact on winning is different than, for me, at least the way I process the question, who's the greatest Knick? I'm going to say Brunson right now is 3. All due respect to Pearl, all due respect to BK, all due respect to the captain, Willis Reed, number 1. All right, number 2. With the Wizards winning the draft lottery, who are your 3 biggest NBA first overall busts? I'm not sure why I inverted the wording there, but I did. Oh my God. This to me is actually pretty easy. Like, there's been a lot of guys, like, and again, operative phrase, first overall. So, like, if you're thinking Darko Milicic, when you could have taken Melo and Wade and Bond, like, no, it's not Darko. First overall. All right, number 1, there's a clear-cut answer. I mean, it's got to be Anthony Bennett. I mean, it's got to be. Anthony Bennett was taken first overall by the Cavaliers back in 2013. You could have taken Giannis. You could have even had Rudy Gobert. In 4 years as the first overall, even when they drafted him, the whole league, the whole world was like, what? He averaged 4.4 points per game in 151 games with the Cavaliers. He has the fewest points ever in the history of the NBA for people who were drafted first overall. He scored 600, didn't even score 700 career points. So Bennett's number 1. Number 2, you know, it's funny. I had Stephen A. on the show about a month and a half or so ago. If you guys missed it, check it out. And, you know, Stephen, if you really think about some of the early viral clips with Stephen A. before as he was becoming this media mogul monster that he is, remember Kwame Brown? Like, he would just eviscerate Kwame Brown. And Kwame Brown is the answer. I mean, you might even say Kwame over Bennett. I wouldn't. 2001 with the Wizards. And, you know, you could have gotten Paul Gasol. You could have taken Tony Parker. Now, he was traded to the Lakers. You know, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Just, you know, he wasn't ready, man. He wasn't physically mature coming out of high school. He wasn't emotionally mature, and he wasn't locked in. Like, you know, I wasn't around him. So, but what I've heard is that he's just a little bit lazy. Kwame, number 2. Number 3, this goes back a minute, 1998, Michael Olowokandi from the Clippers out of Pacific. I mean, when you take somebody first overall out of Pacific, no disrespect to Pacific, you're rolling the dice a little bit. And, you know, why he's 3rd is because he did play 9 years in the NBA. And, you know, he was like second team or all rookie. Not that he was great, but, you know, his rookie year, 9 points, 8 rebounds. All right, he's a big, you know, from weaker mid-major competition. You know, there was at least a building block, but it just never materialized. So, and that draft, by the way, you could have had Vince Carter. You could have taken Paul Pierce. You could have taken Dirk internationally out of Germany. So those are the 3 for me. Bennett 1, Kwame 2, Michael Olowokandi 3. Or really Olowokandi. Either way works. All right, number 3. Ooh, baseball. Ooh, this is good. Who's coming up with these questions? Better MLB story, the Cubbies or the Rays? I mean, both teams are humming here. So Tampa's 26-13. They've won 8 of 10. They're first in the American League East. They're a game or so up on the Yankees, right? The Cubbies are 27-14. They are first in the Central. They too have won 8 of 10. Now, here's the difference. I'm going to say that it's Tampa. I'm going to say that it's Tampa because even though their stadium is you know, a piece of garbage, they're back in their stadium. You know, they had to play at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa because not the tornado, the hurricane rolled through, ripped the roof off. So, you know, they were displaced. And anytime that happens, whether it's a home or a stadium, you know, it's a good story, even though they're a little bit in the Yankees' way this year. But I'm going to really go with the Rays because of the money here. So the Tampa Rays are 24th in payroll. They just do things well. They draft, they develop, they know when to get rid of guys early. They know when to, you know, they rather than get rid of somebody a year too late, they do it a year early. Price and some others, Longoria. They're just so Cole Crawford. They're so good at that. And then the Cubbies, who are 8th in payroll, top 10, $219 million. So they basically got the same record just about. They're both playing great ball now, winning 8 of 10. But the Cubs have $119 million more devoted to their payroll. So I'm going to say the better story right now has been the Tampa Rays. And again, 3 burning questions brought to you by my friends at Sullivan, Papain, triallaw1.com. That's triallaw1.com. Remember the name, Sullivan, Papain. Good crop of questions today, huh, Jay?
Big time. Also, you know, another great little just dig at the Sixers here. Yeah, go to number 4 and 5 on those biggest busts. All right, maybe you got Ben Simmons, maybe you got Markelle Fultz. Boom.
I thought about those. I did. I did. Now, Simmons got hurt. Simmons early on was,
Yeah.
I remember, to be fair, I remember watching Simmons and I'm like, man, I wish I had him on the Knicks. 6'10". I know he couldn't shoot, but a distributor, rebound, lead the. I'm talking to early Simmons was a handful.
Do you think it's injuries that fully derailed his career, or do you think it was more his aversion to playing basketball?
That's what I think.
It's a combination of both. It certainly must be.
Yes. And it's funny because he had an aversion to shooting. And Markelle Fultz had a very similar reflection where he couldn't shoot publicly.
I mean,
that was bad. Crazy. I felt very bad. Where did he was University of Washington, right?
Yep.
Markelle
and
Fultz,
what's funny, I was at the 2017 NBA draft, and I remember, obviously the Celtics had made that trade for the 3rd pick, but I remember going, man, I don't want Tatum. I want Markelle Fultz.
Are you serious?
Of course, dude. At the time,
you didn't want Jason Tatum?
Dude, at the time, I wanted Markelle Fultz and then Josh Jackson.
Oh my God, I remember. Yeah, sure.
And granted, Josh Jackson did have a pretty decent rookie year. The rest of his career is garbage. But Markelle Fultz, I mean, if you remember, going into that draft, he was looked at as like the next James Harden, really. That was like his player comparison at the time.
I'm looking at the draft now, right? Yeah, no question. Absolutely. So Fultz went first. Alonzo Ball went second. Man, Tatum third. Jackson 4. De'Aaron Fox, good score, 5th. Jonathan Isaac 6, Lauri Markkanen, by the Bulls, and obviously, he moved around a little bit, has become a good scorer. Oh, jeez. If this doesn't make you appreciate the Knicks where we are now, with the 8th overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft from France, point guard, the Knicks select Frank Ntilikina. Oh, God.
Over D. Mitchell.
Yes. And Dennis Smith was a player who went after him, and a lot of us Knicks fans wanted Dennis Smith. And he was really good at NC State, could jump out of the gym. I remember some real, in traffic where he would just cock it back and yoking on bigs in traffic. I like Dennis Smith. Zach Collins from Gonzaga, I believe. And then Malik Monk, Luke Kennard from Duke, Donovan Mitchell, 13. My goodness. Nice. Justin Jackson, Justin Patton from Creighton. I remember doing his games against St. John's. Harry Giles. Let's see if it really jumps. Yeah. Jared Allen.
Man, this
OG Anunoby. OG was the 23rd pick.
Was he picked by the Raptors too? Was it the Raptors?
Yeah, no, he was. I thought that was a trade. I think the Lakers traded that pick to the Bucks. There was some sort of trade around that. But I forget the exact. I mean, obviously it's a long time ago, man. Tony Bradley, Derek White.
No,
Josh Hart.
Wow. Josh Hart. I think maybe it's just because Derek White, his hair is so messed up back in the day that you think that he's been in the league for as long as, I don't even know. Not a guy like Mike Conley, but you think Derek White's been in the league for a minute just because of his look. Yeah. I would not have thought that he was drafted in 2017 alongside Tatum.
I agree.
That shocks me.
A long time ago. My God. All right, Jay, who do we have up next here? Let's get back to the calls.
Got
here.
Our man
Cats going as well. Who?
Got our buddy Seth calling in.
What up, Seth?
A bit. I am not going to lie. I was not expecting us Knicks to sweep Philadelphia. I was thinking this was going to go at least 6.
Mm-hmm.
But we got our first playoff sweep since 99.
Since the Hawks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. They had to play that game where the Falcons used to play, I think, because Phillips Arena was getting some work done.
Yeah.
If I remember right. I remember, they were playing in, was it the Atlanta, whatever the
where was the Omni?
Falcon Dome, whatever it was called. Either way. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Having said that, I mean, this was sort of what I kind of expected too. I mean, we only had to go 6 against Atlanta. We were a little pressure. And Philadelphia had basically been put themselves under the gun, having to claw their way back from 3-1 down to Boston to win. They were gassed.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Understood. And their star player isn't reliable night to night in terms of
there's rumors now that Paul George is hanging it up.
Yeah, I've got Paul's a hell of a player. I've got great respect for Paul George. He's a gamer, man. He really is. But Embiid shot. He just can't move. And he's such a flopper, dude. I'm just tired of it. People say LeBron used to flop or still does. Nobody flops like this guy. It's embarrassing. There was a video he flopped.
The SGA.
No. I disagree. No.
Well, he's a foul baiter.
Well, that's different than flopping. I mean, that's kind of manipulating the rules. Like there's a big difference, Seth. I mean, did you see the video going around social media where Embiid, who did he bump into? He actually bumped into one of his own teammates and he flopped when he hit his own teammate. It's just, oh God. The Sixers' future is as bleak as it gets, even though Maxi's great.
And if you want to do a complete rebuild of Philadelphia, center around Maxey and Edgecombe, you gotta get rid of Nurse, gotta get rid of Embiid.
Oh yeah. No doubt, absolutely. Hold on, let me see. Yeah,
but the big question is, who's a good enough, well-bred, qualified coach? You don't have many of those in the NBA, and even when you do, most of them get in through connections, nepotism. And all that
I mean, I don't know about most. I don't know if I'd say most of them, but no, a fair amount too. Yeah. I think Nick Nurse is a good coach. I don't think he's great. I don't even want to, get into any critical analysis now of Nick because of what he's going through. But the man is a champion. I mean, how many champions are coaching right now? I mean, Mike Brown doesn't have any. Tom Thibodeau didn't have any. I mean, Nick Nurse has a championship.
Rumors are Tom may be heading down to Orlando soon.
Yeah, I saw that. That would be for a young team. That could be pretty interesting right there. No, I don't disagree.
For a while, Chicago won't take him back.
No, he's not going to Chicago. There's no way he's going. I don't think. No. All right, Seth. Nothing negative to say, right? So Seth sounds pretty stable today.
One other thing I want to say for Yankees fans.
You want to say what?
A little bit of a farewell to a less-known Yankee who passed away recently.
Who?
Bobby Cox.
Yeah. No, I did see that. A life well lived. He was a Yankee, obviously. I think he was 84, 85.
84.
84. Yeah, I saw that. Rest in peace to just a great baseball
most people
man.
Remember him for the Braves.
No question. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old you are.
38.
Yeah, so we never saw him with the Yankees. He was more of a great manager than a player. But no, good acknowledgement there. All right, Seth. Good job today, buddy. I'll talk to you, man. Thank you, Seth. I'm trying to find something here. Where's the Sixers? I got to get their payroll. I'm just looking for one thing. Pardon me. Cavaliers. Cavaliers have the highest payroll this year. Rockets, T-Wolves, Lake. Oh, there. Okay, Sixers. So if you get on the 76ers payroll, right? I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how the hell do you work around this? So
this is great. I'm looking at it. This is absurd, bro.
Yeah, J-Rod. Next year, Embiid's making 59.5, and then this is all guaranteed, no opt-outs, none of. And then in 27-28, he's making 64.3. Now the salary cap will go up, so it won't be quite as punitive as it seems now. But 28-29, he's making $69 million. Paul George is on the books next year for $54 million. So you've got
oh my gosh.
Geez. I mean, that's painful right there, man. You've got about $115 million for two guys. Now Edgecombe's cheap. He's on his rookie deal.
Yep.
Maxey's making 40, then 43, then 46. He's worth it. You're not worried about him. And Grimes' contract is up. Oubre's contract is up. Drummond's up. Barlow's got a team option of 3.4. Lowry's up. Watford is up at 2.8. I mean, it's really just those. Listen, maybe they are one shrewd navigation. I don't even really know what they have in terms of draft capital. But it's not going to be easy for them.
Other than, and this is a move NBA teams don't really do anymore because it always ends up horribly. And with a contract this big, it legitimately probably be impossible. Like, you couldn't cut and stretch and wave Embiid, and do something like that. And also, even if you force him to retire, you'd not force him to retire, but be like, yo, please. You'd still have to pay out the rest of his contract, correct?
Now there's insurance. So whether it's Lloyd's of London, not that the fan cares about the Sixers getting a return on their investment. They want to be able to, bring some players in. I don't know. I believe that there's some type of relief. Embiid's getting every penny no matter what. We know that.
Yes.
But that's all right. That's money coming from the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm pretty sure they would be granted relief. I don't want to just say something without being 100% sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a concession or some sort of fine print in there that would give them a little relief, but I don't know exactly how much.
I just don't see a trade avenue with him at all because no team, even a horrible team, isn't going to want to drudge their books up with somebody like that.
It's not like there's 1 year to go. I mean, there's 3 years to go.
Yeah, it's a long time where it's no team, because teams in the past have kind of taken on players who are kind of out of their prime, but maybe bring a little pop to the fan base for one season, a Russell Westbrook type for the Sacramento
That's a
Kings.
good point.
Something like that. But 3 years,
your
fans would come with pitchforks and torches.
No, if they come at all. I mean, they didn't even show up in Philly with pitchforks. Knicks fans came in for them. I mean, listen, I'm just kind of thinking out of the box, and I'm not even saying I would do this, but the way to do a trade like that, and I'd have to do a deeper dive on exactly what they have in terms of draft equity. I don't have that in front of me, and I don't really care right now, but maybe the only way that you incentivize a team to take on those 3 big years, at $64 million on the back end a couple of years from now with Joel Embiid is to throw Edgecombe in the deal.
And do like a big deal where you get someone else good back as well. It's like a okay.
Otherwise, I don't see it. If there was 2 years to go, that's different because it's 1 year and then it's an expiring deal, which is a great asset in the NBA, as you know. The 3 years changes the entire complexion and their ability to make a trade.
It's scary.
How
you feeling about how you feeling about the I know you feel great about this, the Pacers. The Pacers losing out on the pick because it dropped to 5 and went to the Clippers with the Zubac trade. But if
I know.
Did you see the tweet from their vice president?
No, I didn't see it.
Dude, let me pull this up. He literally admitted to tanking, which is I'm really sorry to all our fans. I own taking the risk. Surprised it came up 5th after this year. I thought we were due some luck, but please remember, this team deserved the starting center to compete with the best teams next year. We have always been resilient. Sorry, not the vice president, the president of basketball operations.
Wow. Well, it's a tacit admission there. I don't know if he straight up said we tanked, but
it was worth the risk, risk of playing terribly.
I get it. Yeah, but when Halliburton got hurt, I hear you. That's interesting. That's about as close as you'll get to somebody touching the fire.
Yes. And to say that this team deserved a starting center like Zubac, Zubac was worth the risk of what's the word, of compromising your lottery pick. You would be pretty dang happy with the 5th pick in this year's draft, Darius Acuff, potentially.
I love him
over Zubac.
I love him. Acuff is. And he was on my list when we talked about the NCAA tournament. He was one of my top 3 players to watch.
NBA player. You said he would be the best going forward NBA player. And I think a lot of people agree with that. Not that Zubac isn't a great center, but come on, man.
Well, he's not a great center. He's a good center.
Not great. Listen, he's not Hakeem Olajuwon. But
sound like they got Rick Smith. It's not that Rick was even great. He was
not
good.
BT great. Not BT great. But in the modern day, he's a guy you'd want as your starting center.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they always seem to get a little hosed here. In 85, remember they got the 2nd overall pick and Patrick got the 1st pick. But they are resilient. Like the Pacers are one of those teams where they're just a well-run franchise. Going back to Donnie Walsh, it's never going to be. I've got great respect for the state of Indiana, and I've got great respect for Pacer fans. They're good, even though the whole Nick Pacer thing. But Pacer fans are good. They love their team. Great venue. I've been out there a couple of times. Great arena. Indiana high school basketball. Still, I love everything about it. It really is. Blue collar. It's a state I've got a lot of respect for. I like Indiana. Been there a bunch of times for the Final Four and all that stuff, right? So, and the Super Bowl. So I think that, I'm going to separate my Knicks stuff with them, obviously. I mean, I'm not 10 years old. Of course, I could separate it. They always do a really good job. Just when you think that they're down, because they're never going to be an attractive spot for glitzy free agents. Just not in the middle of the weather's not great. It's in the middle of the country. It's kind of dank and it's cold and it's maybe got 4 or 5 months, maybe 5 months of really good weather. So you're not going to get the free agent imports, and they haven't had incredible success with the draft where they haven't had great fortune in terms of getting that top overall pick. But every year, as long as they're healthy, they're competitive. Just when you think they're down, they are. That's a good word. They run their team well. So respect that. No doubt about it.
And it also, he's not the best, but hurts losing Mathurin too as well, and not having another young player to kind of be all right, we're looking at this guy as well. But
Yeah.
As you're saying, they'll be back.
Oh, he was killing the Knicks, Matherin. It was a handful, that guy. We'll keep that. That's all right. Knicks for years were an ISO offense. Carmelo a big game threat. Brunson a big game threat. Cat a big game. Never consistent team wins. Interesting. All cylinders beginning to hit. Matt _ hates _ anything _ Boston. There you go. Yeah. Even going back to like that. Well, that's why any comparisons to the 73 and the 69 teams that were very connected, very high IQ, very unselfish, defense and play for the guy next to you. Not that Pat didn't play for the guys next to him, but Pat needed to get his shots and the offense ran through Pat and they weren't a good offensive team. And then Carmelo was obviously going to gun and didn't play defense, didn't bring anything well-rounded. Great scorer, one of the best scorers I think the NBA has ever seen, but nothing like we've seen with this kind of like the way the Knicks play now. It's a good point. Yeah, they pretty much have been ISO dominant there. And yeah, I guess this guy is me. Aqua Giraffe, 1988. This guy, I guess he's talking about me. This guy thinks the regular season in the NBA matters. No, I never said that. Do people really think the Knicks came up with a whole new offense in Game 4 of the playoffs? They've been holding this back till they needed it. I think that's a little wishful thinking there. I really do. I think that, I mean, I don't know, man. I can't think of a team. Think of champions, all right? Think of the champions. Let me just go back. I don't want to go back to the 80s. That's always so in the 90s. But like even starting with the Pistons when they won with Larry Brown, like that was a very unique kind of team. Ben Wallace, great defender. Chauncey Billups, big game shot. Rip Hamilton, one of the best mid-range jump shooters of all time. Toughness, right? Good bench. Great coach. So that team didn't, the last month of the season, change how they played. It really was an extension from the kind of team they were when Rick Carlisle was there. Larry tweaked a couple things, obviously, but it was just an evolution, an extension kind of, right? They didn't play one way and then suddenly just run the offense through, like, Ben Wallace wasn't the defensive player of the year, which he was. And then all of a sudden they had Ben Wallace, 25 feet away from the rim with 9 assists a night. Like that would be a radical shift in how they played. Didn't happen. You think about the Spurs, the great Spurs. Tim Duncan. Everybody knew Timmy was getting that, all right, we need a bucket. Let's get it to Timmy. Jab step away, a little 20-footer, 15-footer off the window, a little bank shot. Try to stop him. There's Ginobili going coast to coast. There's Ginobili, sticking a dagger 3. They played the way that there's little Avery Johnson, the nuisance, or before that, David Robinson. They played how they played. Kobe and Shaq played how they played. There were nights where Kobe would get his. There were nights where Shaq would get his. When they finally became champions, they melded and they became more connected and they were champions, right? The Warriors didn't suddenly change how they played. Now, it was a little bit of a different version with Kevin Durant, but the first one with Andre Iguodala, who was the finals MVP, that was a team that, Steph was, they were just a prolific shooting team. You had Andre Iguodala as a real glue guy, kind of like Josh Hart. And by the way, I was watching Mike Brown's press conference after the game. Very, very high praise, Mike Brown. He said that, and he coached with the Warriors as an assistant. He said that, he's right there with Iguodala as one of those great connectors. I think he actually used the word connectors, glue guys, kind of like that. So Andre was there and he played the way he played, and Steph could always shoot and Clay could always shoot. Again, Mark Jackson was there, laid the foundation. Kerr came in, took the next step, but then Draymond was always the tough guy, the lunch pail guy. And then you got Durant, then you just had to kind of spread the rock around, but they didn't change how they played. So I'm sorry. You can say that, this guy thinks the regular season. No, I've always said that the NBA is a complete waste of time during the regular season. Matter of fact, what I've really always said, in addition to it being a waste of time, that depending upon what team you're rooting for, there's probably only, if you're a championship team or you're a young team and you want to see how competitive, there's different barriers there. But if you're one of those teams that fancies yourself a viable championship contender, there's really only 7, 8, 9 games that you really got to. Now, I'm going to watch them all, at least components of every game. I'm obviously busy as a dad and as a husband, but there's not a night where I don't watch a second of one of the 82 games in the regular season. It just doesn't happen. even if it's, 5 minutes in the second quarter. And if I miss that, Sports Night, SNY, highlights, YouTube, whatever it might be. So I'm locked in. And this is not the same team. It's just not. I mean, you could write, you could chat, you could tweet, you could text, you could call, you could tell me whatever you want. It's not true. It's fundamentally wrong. They have played differently. They have evolved. And to that, and for that, they get an immense amount of credit. And I have doled it out. I've been doling it out for a while. I got no, guys, just please understand this. I mean, many of you know this. I don't need to be repetitive. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I think what can sometimes be a little frustrating, even though you just wind up chasing your tail, it's like whack-a-mole. Like if you try to, respond to every critic or every doubter or everybody who claps back on social media, I'm just not going to do it. I don't care. I'm too old and I'm too busy. I don't care what you tweet. Really, I don't. But it's very different when you forge an opinion based on the personnel and the rest of the league and what you anticipate Team X being during the season, going into the season. And I said they'd win 54 games, pretty much right on the money. Check. And then, I thought they'd be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Check. I did not think that they would win a championship. And I said that very definitively because the way that they were playing, they would not have swept the Sixers. They would have beaten the Hawks, but they wouldn't have beaten them by 51 and just drummed them the way that they did. And I am not sure if they were playing the way they were in January when they lost 9 of 11, when Cat's role was not what it is now. I'm going to pick them to beat the Pistons. I'm sure as hell going to pick them to beat the Cavs. We'll see about the Thunder from when we get there. But the evolution of this team has forced me to reevaluate what I think that they could do. And I don't know how you can't see that. Let me give you something I gave you at the top of the show. We'll get back to the calls here. All right? And you tell me whether it's Aaron Boone using the bullpen. Let's say in October, Bednar is no longer, we've got concerns about the Yankees bullpen, right? I don't even know if he's going to be the closer at the end of the year in October when it matters. So if I tell you right now, I don't know, even though I think the Yankees have a really great chance to get to the World Series. If I sit here and say, I don't know if they can win the World Series with this bullpen, which I'm not so sure that they could, but then we get to October and the bullpen's different, the evaluation of what they could do is going to be different based on the different personnel. Right? Or say if they take Bednar and he becomes the 8th inning man and they take, I'm just throwing stuff out there, Will Warren or Weathers and make that guy the closer and it really works like they flipped Holmes and Luke Weaver a couple of years ago and it worked. There's different versions within a season, man. There really is. So, what do we got next here, Jay? Who's up?
We've got Matt from Long Island.
What's up, Matty?
What's up, BT? How's it going, man?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. First-time caller, obviously. I've been listening to you for years. I've been here since day one.
Oh, let's get Matty's connection back up.
Matt?
Oh, that's a Matty thing. Hold on. See if we can't get him back in. Can't get him back in?
Try talking.
All right. So you put him on hold. I mean, this stuff happens on the radio too, so it's not a big deal. Put him on hold, and we'll see if we can get back to Matty, get some other calls as well. I mean, listen, when I say like Bednar becoming the 8th inning man or whatever it might be, some other variation downstream. Let's say the Yankees actually get a leadoff hitter at some point, right? Well, isn't that kind of akin? Isn't that kind of the same as like a different version of the Yankees or any other team? Because in December, Karl Anthony Towns averaged slightly more than 2 assists a game. In January, it was 2.9. In February, it was 2.5. In March, it was 2.8. Okay. In April, it was 6.5. And in the playoffs, it's over 7. They were not playing this way. Get it through your heads. Get it through your dick skulls. I know we all hold on to stuff here, but come on. How do you not see that? I'm giving you hard numbers. You can't refute math. You can. You're just wasting time. You sound like a complete dope. Oh, this is the way they played. No, it's not. It's not the way that they played. They didn't have Alvarado, Let's say he's playing 25 minutes a night, but, Deuce was hurt for big chunks of this season. It's different. Bridges is playing with a different energy and a different tenacity, which is great to see. He deserves a lot of credit, man. As much as Bridges drives us nuts, the guy does rev it up a notch or two in the postseason. Undeniable. All right, Jay. Do we have Matt?
Yeah,
Do we have Matt or no?
Let's try it again.
Okay,
Matt.
Am I back
Matty.
in? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah,
I got you,
yes,
Matt.
sir.
What's
All
up,
right,
man?
cool.
Good.
Nothing much, man. I was just saying, I've been listening to you for a while. I'm glad that you and Jake are doing a show together because when you're doing the middays, I was kind of flopping back and forth between you and Jake.
Okay.
And I'm like, these like my two favorite guys are doing one show. I'm like, this is perfect.
Nice, man. Yeah, I love it. No, Jake's good dude. We've got that Jets collective show, myself and Rich and Jake, of course. We're going to go on Thursday after the schedule release, just to let you guys know about that. So we'll break down the entire Jets schedule and something I'll let you guys. I put it on X this morning, something I'll get into more tomorrow on this show. We've got a big Jet event over in Atlantic City with a ton of content creators. I'll be there. Rich will be there. Jake will be there. Connor Hughes from SNY. I mean, Brian Costello. It's a big thing. Just a massive Jets beach, kind of a pool beach party takeover in July. It's going to be great. So I appreciate you listening to us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I might not be able to go to the Atlantic City one because I just got back from there from a bachelor party. I don't think the wife would be. Yeah, I don't think the wife would be too happy about me going back there. But
yeah, let's not get nuts
sounds
here.
Like a good time.
Let's not. Hold on. Let's not divulge too much here. I mean, how was the bachelor party? Was it good?
Oh yeah, it was a good time. I didn't lose too much money. I was up $175 on the on blackjack, and then my friends were like, "Oh, you got to stay." I'm like, "I'm out. I gotta go."
Yep. Where'd you guys stay? Which hotel?
We stayed at the actually we were at an Airbnb, and it was a bachelor party, and the guy, the main guy, the husband, whatever, he wanted the groom.
Yeah,
he wanted everyone to be in one spot.
That's great.
I was like, yeah, let's just do it. And honestly, it's a way better deal. You're not we paid like $290 or something like that, so it really wasn't that bad. It was like 10 of us.
Matty, that's the way to do it. I did something very similar for mine. My buddy, my best man, rented. I mean, they all kicked in, but we rented a house basically on the ocean in the Hamptons. And yeah, so to me, it was so awesome. They really stepped up big time. To me, a bachelor. But don't get me wrong. It's fun going to AC. But if you have 9 different rooms, you want to be able, before you go out, congregate, kick a few back, come home late, hang out. One big room. Did you guys play some golf or no?
We did. And then I didn't.
Where, Seaview?
So what?
Seaview? Where'd you guys play?
I think it's sort of an M. What the hell is it called?
That's all right.
Yeah, but I actually didn't sleep the night before. So, I woke up. And I didn't wake up. I was up, and then we just played golf, and then I took a midday nap. And like I said, it's a long weekend. I don't think.
Well, I'll tell you, man. The last bachelor party that I went to was mine, right? And I don't know if I could do it for 3 or 4 days anymore. But one of my buddies who's not married, I still got a couple of really good friends who are married, man. I gotta have one more bachelor party before it's all said and done. I've got to go to one more. You
sound like my older brother, man. My older brother is 44 now, 43.
Yeah,
I'm 30.
You got plenty coming. You got plenty of time. I don't even care if they're married a week. I'm like, just have the bachelor party. I'm married. I just want one more.
No, and I had mine last year in OBX, but not to get sidetracked here. But
I got you.
My wife actually is she's like a Detroit fan and like a Michigan State fan, or whatever. So it's like I feel like there's an impending doom coming because
is she from there? Where's she from?
She's from Michigan.
What part?
She's near. It's actually Brooklyn, Michigan, but it's near it's 45 minutes away from Lansing.
I got you. Yeah, no, I worked in Michigan I know the area pretty well. Early in my career, no, a lot of love for Michigan, except if it's Knicks Pistons, that's for damn sure. So you got a little problem in the house.
She's threatening to wash my jersey because I haven't washed it, since the start of the playoffs, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. She's not really that big of a fan. She couldn't name 2 players. She knows Katie Cunningham, but that's it.
Yeah,
but she's she's a typical girl. She just rides along with the.
Hold on, Matt. You're gonna get us Matty. Hold on, you're gonna get us a typical girl. I mean, that's. There are a lot of women who are amazing fans. Now, your wife might not be one of them. Sure, but let's not get us in trouble here, Maddie. How long you guys been married for?
Almost just about we're a year coming up right now.
I mean, listen, tell her that she just can't touch the jersey. That's it. You got to write down. That's it. I mean, she's going to have some rules that she's going to hit with, you as you get deeper into the marriage. You got to hit her with this one early. I mean, if she can't touch the jersey. I mean, that's on you, Matt.
I told her I might have to end it. Yeah.
Yeah, or just sweep her instead, right?
Yeah. But I don't know what to do, man. Do I watch the games with her? Because I'm a pretty intense fan. I was at last week's Wednesday game, and I was freaking out. I'm surprised I had hair left on my head.
That's a tough question, man. Okay, it seems like because she's a bit of a fringe fan. Is that a fair description?
She's more of like a college. It's like typical Michigan. They're more college people than professional sports people.
Well, not the Red Wing. I mean, it depends. Like, if you went to Michigan State, sure. But I mean, Red Wing fans are amazing. Lion fans are like Jet fans. They're awesome.
Sure.
You get a little sloppy with these
if you're around
characterizations,
Michigan, you walk around, you see there's more collegiate.
I know you
fans,
do. I get that. Not to mention Eastern, Central, Western, Oakland University. I mean, there's college, the University of Detroit. There's colleges everywhere in Michigan. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a totally different scene than New York.
Totally different. What do we do here?
I don't know if I should watch them with her or not, because I'm gonna freak out.
Well, if you don't watch it with her, is she gonna be like watching it at home, like locked into every possession, or not really?
She's not really, because we usually
go out with your buddies. Watch it with your
we usually host at our house. We have like a nice cool bar area, and like we usually have people over, and she's usually in the kitchen hanging out with the other girls, and then she'll check in, see how everything's
stereotypes,
going.
Dude. A lot of stereotypes. Women in the kitchen. These stereotypes gonna get you in trouble.
This is what happens. This is what goes on.
I'm teasing you, man. Listen, you got my advice. Don't watch with her. She's going to bring you down. She's going to get in your way. Move on. Go out with your buddies. Now, if she was like because here's the problem. If she was a devout Pistons fan, like living and dying on every single possession, knew the first three guys coming off the bench, like knew that Dennis Jenkins played at St. John's, played at Iona before that, which he probably doesn't. Well, okay, it would be intense, but at least that kind of fan knows when to not talk. When things need to breathe and you got to listen. It seems like she's just gonna get in your way. So I would hang out with the boys and just go to the bar and just watch with your friends. That's what I would do.
All right, that sounds because I'm like BT. He's been married for a long time. I'm like, he's gonna give me some good advice.
I don't know if it's good advice. Yeah, I don't know if it's good advice, but it's advice, man. Take the swing, and then. Listen, maybe you get to a point when the Knicks are up 3-0. Maybe you want to, or 3-1. You want to throw her a bone. Then you can maybe watch the game with her a little.
That's exactly word for word, man. That's what I said. I'm like, I'll watch the game when there's an elimination game and I'm feeling good. But
nice, Maddie. Right,
but I don't know. Like, I'm pretty nervous about the Pistons, but
we don't even know that we're playing the Pistons yet. Let them beat each other up. Relax. Enjoy this. Start getting into the Pistons matchup yet. I mean, they got a ways to go in the series, dude.
Yeah, and she was talking, shit to me. She's like, "Oh, you guys are gonna be cold by the time the series comes up." I'm like, I'd rather not play all these extra games.
Me too. With OG, if OG,
I'm like, oh, I forgot. Sweeping a team is such bad news.
I know. If OG was healthy, Matt, I might have a little, like if he didn't tweak his hammy the other day, I might say, a little different. But the more rest he gets, because he's not the quickest healer, he's had soft tissue issues before. I think that this is great. Not to mention, Brunson takes a lot of wear and tear, hits the deck a lot. Brunson had another Cat had another nasty fall yesterday on his back.
Yeah.
He's been hitting the deck a lot.
He hits the ground hard, man.
He does.
He scares me every time. I'm like,
I know. I actually thought he was a little bit jacked up yesterday for a second, but well, listen, Matt, you get back and I gave you my advice. I gave you my plan. It is up to you to implement it and let her know what the deal is. That's on you, buddy. All right.
I appreciate it, BT. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, Matt. You got it, man. Oh, dude, I love taking these phone calls. Jay, how great is this, dude?
That is awesome. I love the advice.
Yeah. It's what it's all about. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to shine here. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I know you don't respect the Cavaliers much, but Pistons up 2-1 tonight in Cleveland. Give me just no analysis. Who wins?
Pistons.
I think the Cavs are going to win tonight.
Really?
So, yeah, I do myself. All right, then the next game. So at that point, you would have the Pistons up 3. This is all you. So you think they win tonight? Pistons up 3-1. Wednesday at Detroit. You'd have to think they close. If that's the case, close out.
I don't know. See, maybe I'd take Cleveland there as like a little shocker, game, and then
all right,
Pistons close it out.
Really, I would. If anything, I would flip it, and I would say Cavs tonight, even it up. Then Pistons on Wednesday, 3-2 Detroit, and then Friday at Cleveland. And then there's a chance this thing goes 7. But if the Cavaliers win tonight, it's going 7.
Okay.
If they lose tonight, it's a wrap. It's over.
Yeah,
they won't win another game.
Here's my feeling out right now. Tonight, Cade's going to have a baller game. He's going to cook the Cavs. They're going to go up 3-1. Next game is going to be a James Harden back against the wall, even though he's been pretty garbage. Next game, he's going to come out. He's going to make people question their playoff thoughts about him. And then the next game, he's going to absolutely fizzle out. The Pistons are going to win.
So there's still some fluctuations in the evaluation of the young Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
Remember all the turnovers last series, previous series?
My goodness, yeah,
24 in 3 games. 24 in 3, which set a NBA playoff record over a 3-game stretch. 24 in 3 games. But now he's going to be a mess. And that's another reason why, whether it's Banchero with the Magic or Cade Cunningham, with the Pistons, this is the time you got to kick the door in. You have to get to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks are in their absolute prime. They're well rested. They're playing they're playing better than I ever thought that they could play together. To be totally fair, I just did not envision this type of, growth, this type of explosion. It's been insane how good they're great right now. It's awesome.
And I really liked that point about the prime thing. Because you think about it, the Knicks are at that age when NBA players win their first championship, 28, 29 years old. I mean, granted, guys like JT and JB, they did it a little earlier, but how old was LeBron when he did it? He was probably around 26, 27-ish, right?
He had to be, right?
2012, 2013, that's 9 years.
Yeah,
18, 27.
18, high school, 27, 9. Yep, 27.
Yeah, 27, 28. Those were really his, obviously his prime peak years. Steph Curry would have been similar age-wise. And so, you think about it. When you look at the teams, there are 2 teams who are kind of in that age range, and it's the Oklahoma City Thunder and it's the New York Knicks. Those are the teams with that kind of, within their star players, have that prime peak age years. It's the Knicks, it's the Thunder. Man.
But I think the Thunder's window, just because Shea is younger, is wider than the Knicks.
Yeah.
And they're also already champions.
And they have Chet, and Chet.
That's right.
Yeah, Chet's another added piece where it's okay, he's an incredibly young player where he extends their window even past Shea Gilgeous.
I agree. That's a good point. He had 24 the other night. It was a playoff high. I mean, he's just sticking his toe in the pool. I mean, Chet Holmgren's going to be I would think that Chet's going to probably have 3 championships when it's all said and done. Maybe a little ambitious here, but shoot, if they win this year, it's 2.
No. If they win this year, I wouldn't say that's an easy bullseye that he ends up with 3, but I'd say there's a pretty good shot that Chet Holmgren's
probably right. I mean, think about this. The Nuggets are just about aged out. I mean, Jokic is still great, but I think their window's, probably
Murray's not going to do it anymore as your second guy. I don't think. I agree with Aaron Gordon, he's he's certainly improved as his career's gone on. Yep. He's a 4th guy. He's a 4th guy on a championship team, not a 3rd. True.
All right, man. What else? What did we miss? How was the show today? Pretty good?
Dude, I thought it was great. The vibes are high. The chat was popping, I think I love, and I think it's a good, it's a good angle to further explore just, all these people getting on you for the reevaluation.
Yeah. I mean, it's wait, were they getting on me? That's their problem. I mean, it's
well, there was certainly one guy in the beginning, and I kept kind of sending the message, trying to be like, call in, dude, call in.
Okay. What was he saying?
Let's find it. Well, here's kind of his main point that sort of sort of set his whole basis.
They are owed anybody who overreacted to regular season noise when they had already proven themselves as regular season. Hold on, wait a second. What did the Knicks prove? Were the Knicks in the NBA Finals last year? Were the Knicks in the answer is no.
No.
I mean, what do they prove? I mean, the Knicks, like a few other teams in the NBA, which is why they had among the shorter odds in the NBA to get to the finals before the start of the season and one of the higher win totals. The Knicks had demonstrated they were a good team and a team that had a chance, if they were healthy, to maybe mess around and do a little something special this year. But nobody really knew what they would look like, and nobody saw this version coming. And if you did, you're lying. I'm sorry. That is a very shallow way of looking at this season. Now, I've got no problem saying that I was wrong, and I did pronounce the Knicks dead. Like, I'm not running from that. I did. Maybe I should have said that earlier or louder. I did not think that this Knicks team would win the championship, but we're not watching the same Knicks team. Yes, we're watching the same players, but we're watching a completely different style. What don't you get?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Jeez.
It's pretty simple, and it's like even looking at the Knicks last week, dude, before Game 4 of the Hawks series, not every Knicks fan, I'm sure there were still the people who were holding out their optimism, but most people I spoke to, their hopes were not incredibly high.
To beat the Hawks or to make a real run?
To make a real run, not to beat the Hawks. I mean, I heard a couple people, getting a little that fearful, not many. But yeah, I think
that's fair.
I think these past couple of weeks have been the butterfly coming out of its cocoon, the true, metamorphosis.
Slapping those wings, baby.
Exactly.
Fly
they look awesome. They look awesome.
Fly.
Oh, that's a good. Ooh, that'll
How's
be
the
one.
Voice? How's the not bad voice?
Yours?
Singing a little bit.
You got a good singing voice. It's
That's
pretty
not
good.
terrible.
It's not decent. The Fly Away, that'd be a good one to bust out this week when I don't know if you saw this in the StreamYard, but I was doing like tests with the guitar figuring
I didn't
out.
see it.
I got it to work. So
okay, yeah, no. So if you guys missed the show last week, J-Rod, he's a bassist, right? He's in a band, a guitar, and we're gonna have him do a little jam at some point. Maybe we're gonna have him riff the BT Unleashed theme song.
Oh, dude, that's so easy. It's yeah,
like the old days on when they would have like Nirvana on MTV, like the acoustic versions.
This is like Jimmy Fallon's. This is like the Roots right now, playing with Jimmy Fallon.
Yep. There you go. All right. So before we get up out of here, Wednesday on the show, could you slap that up once more? Looking forward to this. I told you we'd get him on the show. And we will have the Yankee manager on the show on Wednesday at 10:30. So I'll start the show and I'll do, I'm not even sure. It depends what's topical that day, but probably Yankees. I'm sure I'll get it some Yankees, especially if they don't win against the Orioles. Like, the last thing I need is Booney coming in on a 5-game losing streak. I mean, you better snuff this out. I don't want him coming in all grumpy. But the best part about Boone is he's locked in. And he will not say, oh, no, we're not playing well. I can't come on. He is a man of his word. I told you we're going to get him on the show. So we will have him on Wednesday at 10:30. I've got to figure it out with Tiki. I would like to do it something around the Giants schedule. Obviously, I've also got to work around the Knicks schedule here. That's going to be front and center. But we'll get Tiki on for nice, longer format, just really have a nice bullshit session about everything. Went back in the day, obviously, as a player, 10 years I spent with Tiki on the show, on the air. A lot of road trips with Tiki. Sal and I never really got to travel, but when Tiki and I were doing the national stuff, we would go to every Final Four. We would go to every Super Bowl, and we got some fun stories that will trace over. Some we could tell, some we can't. So Tiki, hopefully this week, but definitely Booney on Wednesday. All right, like it, subscribe it, get it out there. The numbers have been great. We set a record. Last week we had 3 straight days. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where we were, what was it, over 55,000 views per day?
Yeah,
right, Jay?
I believe so.
Yeah, 56. And Friday was 56. So that was the second highest ever, but it was the most growth in any 3-day sequence since we launched the channel. Again, I'm sure some point down the road, those numbers will sound very humble. But for right now, I'm proud of them. And you guys are really helping me get there. The subs are growing. We're just going to fly by 25,000. I remember saying to J-Rod, I'm like, hey, you think we'll get to 25 G's by the end of the month? He's like, yeah, I think so. There's no doubt. I mean, we're going to get to 25,000. No doubt. By the end of the month. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep doing what I am doing. I appreciate you know that. Appreciate the support. Hopefully you guys are digging it. The callers have brought a totally new perspective and different energy, which I told you that it would. And I told you the A-list guests are going to keep coming. I was texting with A-Rod the other day. A-Rod, now, Jay, real quick. Jay, I need your opinion on this. Hold on. Let me just pull up. Hold on. So I texted Alex to get him on the show and just to say what's up. I hadn't talked to him in a little bit, right? So I got to see how I interpret this. He said, that's private. I'll keep that to myself. You have to come watch a playoff game soon in Minnesota, right? Come one game when I fly to New York after the game. Now I'm sitting there saying, hold on a second. All right, I know that. No. This is what I need help on. So I know he's inviting me to go watch the Timberwolves playoff game, which would be now. Am I going to be able to do it? I mean, logistically, it will be a challenge, but I'm not saying I wouldn't. I mean, especially if it's the finals. I mean, can you imagine? Here's my question, and I know he's going to hook up with great seats and all, but the way that last part was worded, come fly when I'm thinking, is that an invitation for the private jet?
Oh, that's what it sounded like.
That's what I thought. So I thought so too.
Yep. That's how. I mean, listen, not to air it out, but yeah, that's certain. I mean, right? Like that's how it reads. If he's flying back to New York, I
said something about Dante DiVincenzo. That sucks about Dante. Love him. What a dude. He goes, he's the fucking best. Love him. Blah blah blah. Thank you, bro. You got to come watch a playoff game real soon. Come one game when I fly to New York after the game. I don't know how else to interpret that. I write back. I go, yeah. I go, totally, dude. He goes, and his guy Nick, his cousin, who's awesome. He goes, chat with Nick. Look at the playoff schedule. We'll figure it out. I mean, it doesn't sound like he expects me to slap down $300 for an airline and just have tickets and will call.
Probably not.
I feel like he's saying, yo, jump on the jet. That's what I feel like he's saying.
I'd agree with you, man. You better ask him. You better take him up on that.
How do you ask him? No, see,
that's you can't. No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Wait,
well, what do you want me to do?
Alex, just to clarify, Alex, does that mean should I book my own flight or
there's got to be some sort of Larry David-esque like workaround that you can think of to where you can say it appropriately.
Yeah, I'll be like, no, maybe here's the way to parse it. Because if I ask him, it kind of sounds not desperate. I mean, the guy invited me to his home for his Christmas party. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's like I don't know him. And we went, and it was amazing. Maybe I'd do something like this. Hey, airline, there's not a lot of, here we go. There's not a lot of flight options from New York to Minnesota. What do you recommend? And then based on his answer, if he's like, no, just when I come back with me, that's the answer.
That's too funny.
I think that's what he meant.
No, I think that's a great way. Dude, also that would just be sick, especially
I'm fucking sick with that.
Even I mean, not even obviously Knicks Timberwolves finals would be the greatest.
God.
I think Spurs Knicks finals would be the best product. I think Thunder Knicks would be second best, but I do think Timberwolves Knicks would be a great season.
You think Knicks Spurs would have more buzz than Knicks Thunder?
No. Oh yeah, Wembanyama.
Yeah,
100%.
Defending champion OKC.
I don't know.
That arena. Let's be honest. Now, Spurs fans are great.
Yes.
Thunder fans might be the best in terms of the game on court, like vibrant, just crazy, nutty. I love the Garden
there, but
OKC is pretty nuts.
I think Wembanyama making his first finals in his second year is that's massive. And also, dude, he's the kind I mean, I don't love what he did last night. That was horrific. Like that, not horrific, but it was like, dude, what are you thinking, bro? Why are you elbowing him in the face?
I know.
But I think Wemby, like, he's the kind of player, he's got that fire in him. I don't know the kind of player he could play like if he was in the NBA Finals. Dude, that guy, he's young, yes, but he's got something in him that's different. He's got the will of God in him, bro. Like,
I know. Listen, you know what? I hear you, and you make sense. I just don't think I want to. Not that I'm scared of him, but not yet because he's still
the
kind of
Knicks
young.
would beat the Spurs. That's why I also think I like it a little bit because it gives them a better chance. But
okay, I would agree. They'd have better odds against the Spurs than they would the Thunder there in terms of Vegas. But do I really want to tempt fate again? Last time they played the Spurs in the championship, it was very, it was pretty non-competitive. It was a young Tim Duncan, young Wemby. Do I really need this? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I need to go through that again. I don't know. I think I'd rather.
That is scary.
I don't know. I got to think about that. Let's see. Who do I prefer to beat in the NBA Finals? What a nice question. Nice to be able to ask that question, huh? Who would I rather beat? All right, man. Starting to ramble now. Let me bounce, bro. 2 hours is where we draw the line ski today. Like it, subscribe it. Great job on the calls. Great job on the chats. We're going to get the other content out there. We now put out three separate videos each day broken down so you guys can watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. Obviously the live stream is a big part of what we do with the sponsors and the calls and all that stuff, but also understand that not everybody can watch 2 straight hours. So J-Rod's going to get to work on that. Aaron Boone on Wednesday. It's going to be great. Hopefully Tiki this week. I'm going to try to lock that in, get a little clarification if it's going to be A-Rod's jet or if I got to reach in my own pocket here. Got to get some answers there. I mean, what am I going to stay at A-Rod's house? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know where this thing's going. I mean, who knows? It could be. Maybe it's my own entourage weekend. We had Jerry on the show the other day. Maybe I got my entourage weekend with Alex coming up. Hey, honey, stay home. I'm going to hang out with Alex, man. You can watch the games on TV. All right, man. Let me roll. Have a great Monday. Great job today. And I will catch you guys tomorrow at 10. Peace.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon